start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the lives. Sorry, running late. Not sorry. Okay, I always play when Nova's joining us today. Hi, Nova.
Hi everyone.
You know what? I want to say first and foremost, congratulations to Charmaine and our new grandson that's named Connor. Was born
Nice.
yesterday and 7 pounds, 2 ounces. So congratulations, Charmaine, on your fourth grandbaby there. So
Congrats, Charmaine.
yeah, sure is sending us a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. But, yeah. So she's going to be in chat there. Hi, Nova, she says. Anyways, you guys, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't joined us before, or if you have, please hit that like and the share for Jack and Lily. That's what we're all about. Finding answers for Jack and Lily. They have been missing since May 2nd of 2025. And today is August 15th. So that's 3 months and 13 days so far. What do you think of them apples, eh?
Yep.
Long time for no answers for Jack
Long
and Lily.
time. Yep.
Yeah. And I can't believe how much time actually goes fast. And
Yes.
it's just, and then you realize, like, has it really been this long already? Like,
I know.
It's crazy. But we'll keep being their voices, right, Nova?
Yes.
And you
Yep.
guys out there. Absolutely. So thank you guys for all that you guys do as well. Thank you for keeping their names and faces out there for everyone that's doing the special things. In a second here, we're going to watch Kent's video that he did on the news with regards to the posters. Again, if anyone wants to get any of those posters, last night I sent him the $100 plus $50 for fish and chips, right, Kent? Right? For all, because he's doing so much, and I appreciate
Aw.
everything. I want those signs out there for sure, right? So again, Kent Corbett, I'll put the email there, kentcorbett81@gmail.com. But I mean, again, we were just talking about this before the start of the live, Nova, about Kent's work. I'll let you speak actually on this because of watching the video yourself.
On Kent's work with the signs?
Well, just meaning on the the interview that he did, and just honestly how much work I know he's been doing. He's been on the channel, he's been doing all this work behind the scenes, running a Facebook group and stuff like that. Like, I mean, that man has bloomed into this big flower. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And he talked about the kids at the school, right? And how they're going to be asking questions and how difficult it's going to be for the teachers to answer those questions come September when school starts again. And of course we know the buddy bench is coming to the school as well from Charmaine, who's done a lot as well. And so Kent talked about the signs and how the idea came about to use those political like signs.
Absolutely.
And as my husband stated, when I told him the signs were coming, I told my husband, I have 2 signs coming, so if you get to the door before I do that, that's what's coming. I said, and I told him all about Kent, and I said, the idea about using a political type sign to put those out there in the name of the kids and to keep their names out there. And he goes, "Oh, so somebody actually come up with a good purpose, a proper purpose for political signs." And I
Right.
laughed. I said, "Exactly, exactly."
Yeah.
Yeah, so he talked about that, and I guess some other questions were asked, but were not put into the news piece that was on the news. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No. You know what? Again, anything out there to bring answers, to bring awareness to Jack and Lily, right? It's just that now, sorry, how long have you been in true crime again?
oh gosh,
Approximately?
my
No.
channel is probably, I would say, maybe almost 2 years or
Right.
a little bit less, maybe close to 2 years, and with a break in there due to illness and other stuff going on. But true crime itself, I can't even tell you how long. It's been
Right.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a heart breaking space to be in.
Yeah.
It, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, it was never my intention to be in true crime at all. But sometimes paths just come, like, it's kind of like life sometimes leads you down a path that you didn't even expect. And I certainly did not expect to be in true crime, like
Yeah.
0%.
Yeah.
But the Suzanne Morphew case, I was pissed off because I knew her husband had done something to her. And well, Delphi was the first thing I looked at, but I wasn't following it per se, just very little. But it was Suzanne Morphew's case where I saw this beautiful lady that just had this beautiful aura around her. You could just tell that she was
Yep.
just a beautiful soul. And I'm like, you're a controlling douchebag, Barry Morphew. And I could tell because of being from an abusive relationship, I kind of saw the line of sight there, what was truly going on. And I knew he was lying right away. And I was just like, so I religiously was, following that case. But what happened was after a search was done by her brother, all of a sudden you could just feel the vibe of people not really, it was almost like it had taken its toll on people once they didn't find anything at that point for Suzanne Morphew. And I was like, heck no, I ain't letting this guy gonna freaking get away with this. And this case kind of remove itself a little bit from the internet and stuff like that. This guy did something to his wife, and
Yeah.
you know, and I know he's done it, and he was charged once, and they had to back off of that charge because they think counted their chickens, right, Jenny, before they were hatched. And but anyways, is that Miss Dog Lover? Somebody, I can see that. 1 second. It's Miss Dog Lover. Hey.
£19 and 99 pence. You're awesome. Thank you. Prayers for these beautiful children. Thank you, Sunday and guest. Love to all. Smiling face with hearts emoji.
Miss Dog Lover that love you. Thank you. She's from the United Kingdom, where my husband's from, but she's been a long time, like 35 months, 35, 36 now, Miss Dog Lover, or 35 still, months with the channel and stuff like that. Huge supporter, has always been. So love you very much. And to all you other ones that have subscribed and become members and stuff like that, or have been long time, members of the channel. Thank you guys so much for keep following this channel. But yeah, so with Suzanne Morphew there, right? I just I couldn't let the internet forget about Suzanne Morphew. So that was what I was feeling. So I was like, so although I had built my channel a long time ago for friends just to make some funny song videos for them, like for an anniversary or a birthday. So I built my channel earlier, but never ever used it for besides a couple things like that. And then, so I brought my channel basically back up, and I was on a fight for justice for Suzanne Morphew. There's no way I was going to let that controlling, lying husband get away with it. And he's been charged.
And yeah, and again, yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at what they had the first time they arrested him
Yeah.
and, well, charged him, and they had to let him go. It couldn't
Yeah.
stick because I remember thinking, how? Like, because I followed that one as well. How's
Yeah.
that possible? Because you looked at what they had. So that tells you what is needed in order to make things stick,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of having this conversation with Belinda a little bit prior to the live, um, because, and I want to say this, and Nova, you'll know this as well. Being in true crime, and for people that are kind of newer to this, and this is their first time really following true crime cases because of this case of Jack and Lily Sullivan, uh, there's always these time periods that happen. At first, there's a bunch of information. Everyone's just, scrambling around trying to, understand the mother, the stepfather, the case, and all that stuff. And then there's these lulls that happen where people think that the RCMP or law enforcement, LE, aren't doing anything. I'm going to tell you right now, though, okay, is that not everything happens overnight. So when you think that they're not doing something, trust me, they are doing something. Even if they did make some mistakes, they are working diligently hard on this case for Jack and Lily Sullivan. Please do know that, because this always happens in cases, as you know, Nova, right? Is that there's this lull, people start getting a little bit angsty and they think that the RCMP aren't doing anything. And then next thing you know, whamma lama ding dong type of thing, right? And
Yeah.
then next, right? It happens all the time in cases, guys. So I want you guys just to understand. I understand the frustration, but please, again, please know, I don't know how many countless cases that this always happened. It's almost like, what do we want to call it? It's almost like little like steps, right?
It's a
That
process. It's a process.
it's a
Yeah.
process. So trust in the process. Keep the faith out there for Jack and Lily that they are working hard to find answers. We are working hard to find answers in our own way. But these lulls do happen. And again, and then you'll always see an attack on the RCMP or the law enforcement because people just want to know. They're like, what's taking so long? What's taking so long? But kind of like what Nova was just saying in the Barry Morphew case and stuff like that, you need to make a case stick. You need to have your ducks in a row. They would not be doing their due diligence unless there was a solid case that they would have. I know that it's been deemed as missing, a missing persons case still, but obviously, I mean, Daniel can't lie all the time, right? He can't be inconsistent all the time. When it comes to this. So definitely, I can't even remember what I was just going to say there, to be honest with you. I kind of
Is
like
it
left.
still considered a
Oh,
missing
yes. Yes,
person?
it is.
Because,
Yeah.
because in the article that Lindsay just put out, she had stated it was a criminal investigation.
Not that I'm aware of. And that's because of the fact that that's what I was going to say. Although they've asked Daniel, like everything that was to do with unaliving those children or taking the lives of, say Jack and Lily. But there's always that part where they believe that, like, not that they believe. Okay. We're playing like word salad here in the sense of there's still the plausibility that they are in the woods somewhere, right? So what they're giving to us and how they're feeling behind the scenes are two different things.
Well,
About
yeah.
that. Yeah.
It just struck me that
Um,
she had used those words in that article. That it
yeah, unless someone can tell me different, because that was a big thing about that, right? Because I'm like, well, why isn't it criminal? But I remember that one guy, that one RCMP officer explaining about, it's either two things. It's either, they're lost in the woods or it's a criminal investigation.
Mhm.
But they've
Yep.
never deemed it, as far as I know, as just a criminal investigation.
like themselves publicly, no. But it
Right.
just struck me that she said that in the
Yeah.
article. Called it that.
Right.
And I can't remember if she was quoting or if she herself was saying that, but I know she called it that in the article, criminal investigation.
Yeah, and so I'll have to ask her about that. But I don't believe so. I don't believe that that's right. I believe it's still as it's always been stated that it is a missing persons case.
Yeah.
But not that they believe it's a missing
No,
person.
no,
Right.
no.
Different.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's both working on it. So
Right. because obviously you don't keep asking somebody about, did you like murder Jack or Lily? Did you do this? Did I like? I mean, I believe him when he says that all the questions were related to what did you do?
Mhm.
Da 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 da. And again, because they couldn't find them in the woods, they spent a good time searching. Again, not finding any nappy, not finding any backpack. The likelihood of the children going, nobody believes that they're like, there might be this like 0.001% that might still believe that. And I still think that searcher lady was just, I was watching her as she was saying it. And I think that what she probably wanted to say and what she had to say are two different things.
Oh, 100%. She was just being politically correct in her position, right? As a searcher, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So as we're getting started, you guys, again, if you're just coming in, please hit that like and share for Jack and Lily. Again, it's all about bringing awareness. We want answers on the side of all this, but it's always about keeping Jack and Lily, because we're not going to be the ones arresting. But hey, you know what? Again, YouTubers, for anyone that doesn't know, YouTubers actually have a great space in the true crime community for helping solve cases. We do. Don't let anyone tell you different. It does happen all the time. Everyone's videotaping nowadays, right? People are catching stuff on their cameras. Gabby Petito case is a prime example that led them exactly to where the van was at the time when they passed it. And that's where they found Gabby Petito's body, a few 100 feet away from where the van was, all because of a YouTuber. But it happens all the time. So, don't think that YouTubers don't have their place, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. We're talking about a piranha tank is what we're talking about when it comes to true crime. The bullshit that you can get away with regular news and what they put out to what we do is totally two different things, but it's still about bringing awareness, but we just have two different ways. Would you agree?
Yep. Yes, exactly.
I mean, we know that in the rural world, right, that there are people that suck and that there are really good people out there. So it's no
Mhm.
different than anything with true crime or any other space. There's people that really suck, that cover the case, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I got no control over that, but I can control what this channel does. But again, the internet can be your worst enemy or your best friend when it comes to helping in cases, or in this particular case, obviously, if people are going to try to deceive us, well, you're talking about like literally thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousand people that are watching what you're saying. And there's no hundreds of thousands in any RCMP world of people. So when you are scrutinized, you will be scrutinized for every piece of word you say. Right now, it does get to the point of ridiculous. We do know that there's people that do really fucked up things. I'm just going to say it. They do. There's people that take on this case as if it's like a personal thing to them, that they have to involve themselves in a way that's not doing good for the case, because they get too deeply wrapped up in it, that they get angry, get mad. They start, taunting people, driving around their places, sending emails with threats and stuff like that. That's not okay. That
Mm.
is not okay. That's the sucky part, is that there's no control when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to the internet. People,
Yep.
yep. So again, we're here to try to put out answers and stuff like that. We're using the words that are being said by the family members, because besides the RCMP, that's the best thing that we have to go on. Third party information and stuff like that, goes to the kind of bottom of the pile, but it depends where that third party information is coming from. When it comes to rumors and speculations, I don't really like talking about the rumor parts, because there's just a lot of bullshit out there. I really just like to cut through the crap and get to the point of it all. And speculation, obviously, it can be healthy or it can be unhealthy in certain ways, I suppose. I'm sure Daniel's not liking this, what's going on, with him. But you know what? He's done it to himself, is all I can say. Is that how you feel?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. And it's one of those things,
Like
is
I
again,
said before, if it wasn't for him, I would still think it's possible that the children were either in the woods or they were abducted by someone known to the family or someone driving by and knowing that the children are out there playing. Um, I wouldn't have thought anything else. It was him that swayed me differently. His own
Mhm.
words.
His own words.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. His own words. Did it to himself. No one else to blame. No one. Again, I didn't hold him down in his cell phone in his hand. I didn't do
Yeah.
that. Force him to talk. He did it to himself. And I'm like I said, I'm sorry. I wasn't born off a turnip truck. Were you? Were you born yesterday?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Absolutely. Right. So let's watch that video with Kent and the posters, the signage, you guys. Again, thank you, Kent, for all that you're doing. Thank you, everyone, for all that you're doing. Charmaine, and again, the beautiful bench. But there's like people that are painting rocks, right, Micmac? Got, yeah, Jack and Lily on Kelly's Mountain there. People that are doing paintings, people that are doing the rocks for Jack and Lily, people that are doing the logs, right, Cheryl? And you and your husband and stuff like that. So, again, and I still will say this, Belinda, the rest of the family members out there, thank you for everyone that has talked. Thank you for any and all the information that you have provided, whether people believe you or don't believe you. That's a different story. But at the end of the day, I've listened to every time the family talks because I want to know a timeline. I want to understand because we're seeing deception. I want to understand, and I know you guys do too. You want to understand where the truth lies with Jack and Lily. So with that becomes a timeline, right? So where does the timeline start failing? When's the truth start beginning? Correct? Would you say, Nova?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I just have you on here just to say yep, by the way. Right,
Yeah.
Nova?
Well, we're pretty much on the same page because,
Yeah.
I mean,
Huh.
we've been watching everything and looking into everything and
Yeah.
thoroughly, very thoroughly. So you can't help but pretty
Yeah.
much be on the same page with stuff.
Yeah. And when I'm covering a case, I just usually like to do one at a time. I don't like to, like,
Mhm.
again, if my purpose was that this was my career and I was, trying to be, this person that covered all these cases, but I don't. When I dive into something, I like to dive into it. And I don't like to have to go, oh, well, let me go listen to the last week of information or this or that and do catch up and stuff
Exactly.
like that. I like to be in the here, in the now, and have all the knowledge that's as much as I can get that's out there, what's being said. I mean, the important stuff of what's being said, right? And again, just try to get that timeline, that timeline crunch, like it says on the thumbnail, and just try to understand. Because again, if the truth isn't being told, well, again, you've caught he himself, by his own doing, really, he has propelled this case even more because of the inconsistencies, and then he keeps doing interviews, but it's the inconsistencies. it's
Mhm.
it's what people are now perceiving as deception. I mean, because this case was odd from the start, right? Everyone knows, right? Doesn't matter. Even if you're the most innocent guilty person in the world or innocent person in the world, when your true crime is going nowhere, and if anyone feels deception, trust me, you are under attack regardless right away, okay? Because people instantly go right to the family members, and sometimes unjustifiably so. But again, that's what honestly spreads these cases really huge. It's a lot of it's because of the BS, sadly, but it's
Yep.
true. But it's true. Yep.
Yep. So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
here's that paragraph uh, that Lindsay had in her article. It
Sure.
says police have described the case as highly unusual. Most missing persons cases are resolved shortly after they're reported to police. But the disappearance of Jack and Lily has become a complex and intensive major crime investigation involving a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work, said RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon in an update last month. the Nova Scotia government offered a $150,000 reward for information. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm, I mean, I wouldn't take that as gospel. Um, I still think it's never been changed and it's still underneath missing persons. But we can look into that. Eh? Should
yeah,
be too.
well, definitely not missing in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't give $150,000
Mhm.
rewards out for kids wandering off and uh, being in the woods to their own demise, or do major crime investigations because children walked off into the woods. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know what you're saying. They haven't come out themselves and publicly said uh, this is now deemed 100% a major crime. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. And anyone coming in, this is Nova. Go ahead, Nova. Just talk about your channel for a sec.
My channel is called Nova's Inquest, formerly Solicitous. Uh, so I decided to change the name. The other name was a bit confusing to some people. So I thought, well, I better scrap it now and come up with a new name while
Yeah,
I'm
because
still early in the game.
that other one was, I'm sorry, but I'm glad you did because that other name is just too hard for people to spell,
Yeah,
let
and you
alone.
weren't the only one that had said that.
No.
So I thought, okay, it's time to scrap it.
Oops. I almost dropped the
So
wrong link.
I came up with Nova's Inquest after a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
And thanks, Drippy. Thanks. Yeah, so basically, I pretty much do the same thing Sunny does, and I do the same. I find something and I dive into that particular case, and it might not mean that I won't. It doesn't mean I won't mention anything else. I did talk about little Jaden the other day, who that story didn't end too well, and
Oh, I know. My goodness.
so sad. So I did, talk about him for a little bit, and then move on to
Thanks,
Lily
Ben.
and Jack. But yeah,
Yeah.
I tend to stick with a story, and it's better to stick with it from the beginning. And as like Sonny and I were talking about, how it's a process, and you're with it throughout those processes. And I mean, you can feel it. You can feel as things progress, from how this all first started. And I know Sonny felt the same way, and I felt the same way, and there was many other creators. There's only a couple in particular that had Daniel pinned down right away, but I'm not the type of person to do that right out of the gate. Like I have
Right.
to figure that out through evidence and facts. And so you go from believing what Daniel's saying,
Hmm.
to where we've come now, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, which has been a process.
He had
So
us for a
yeah,
moment. I
yeah,
think he had most of us for a moment.
he had quite a bit of us for a moment. He didn't have Dolly. Dolly
No.
called him out right away. And I don't know if you've ever watched Granny's Crime Buster.
No.
She was onto him pretty quick too.
Yeah, no. I know of the channel. I've just never actually watched it, to be
Yeah,
honest. I don't watch a lot of people, to be honest. Honestly, I don't have the time
yeah,
to do that. People are sending me emails that I'm still backlogged on and messages. And I mean, like I said, I'm going back to work on Monday, doing, my 8-hour shifts. And unfortunately, I'm in my nighttime ones where it's 12 to 8. So Monday through
hmm,
Thursday for the next 2 weeks, I won't be able to do any lives because I ain't waking up early for you. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I actually probably wouldn't mind a little bit of a rest because that won't stop me from keeping up with the information. Just means, the 12 to 8 shift sucks, really. And
yeah,
it's obviously way too late. Um, Nova Scotia time. And honestly, I'm going to be sleeping in until I have to get up and shower and get ready for work.
Yeah, you'll feel like it's like your whole day is
I might put
dedicated
out a
to work.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably put out a video or something like that. But either or, um, you know, again, this case in particular, just like Sebastian Rogers and Nicola Bully, Jay Slater, all those ones, again, just take them on. Um, and you just want answers. You want
Yeah.
answers. You feel so
Yeah.
badly for the family members, like
Mhm.
like Belinda,
Yep.
um, from the get go. Well, like I'll say within a couple weeks anyway. But it's just, I don't overly reach out to people. This has been the most case that I've actually reached out to people, and sometimes the message will sit there for a long time, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I get an answer, and stuff like that. But I don't overly like to intrude as much as sometimes you want to, but when it comes to true crime, you know, when somebody's going through a lot of pain, in their hearts, it's really hard. Like you want them to speak out because that that's the way to get the information and people paying attention to the case. So from that point of view, that they don't necessarily know that, but
Mhm.
we know that. But this case is the most that I've actually reached out at two people, and I don't know why. I think it's just because it's just one of these ones. This is home. This isn't a U.S. case. It's not an over the seas case. It's a Canadian case. And, as a Canadian, YouTuber who covers the different cases, it's this one here. I just want answers. Like, I want answers for all of them. But in the fact that I've reached out to more people than I normally have, I guess it's just because I feel like we're Canada, like we're together, right?
Mhm.
It's different in the States. Like, most people will go to their own in a sense a lot more than they will sometimes to others, right? But this is Canada, this is our country here. Jack and Lily are missing from our country here. And so, yeah, so I have reached out more to the Canadians for this case than I typically do with other cases and stuff like that, because you don't want to, you want them to have a voice, for the murdered and the missing. But by the same token, you kind of feel like, you know, okay, well, do you want to talk? Do you not? Because this is like to watch the family members that really want answers for Jack and Lily, to watch them have to suffer and watch what's going on here, from the start. But now, as it's moving on and we're at 3 months and 13 days, it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
disgusting to see what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm to the point of cut the bullshit. We want answers for Jack and Lily. And now I'm tired of listening to Daniel's bullshit to me. He's said way more than enough that I really don't care what he says anymore. Because at what more point do I guess I could, if he speaks, add more onto, well, that doesn't match this. But I already know that. Like, it's not rocket science on the fact that he has lied, mistruths, and inconsistencies. And we're not talking a few. We're talking many, 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 right? And so,
Right. Exactly.
right. And so I'm not one of those ones that just, I have to always lead by my heart, always. Okay. I always do everything organically and with the intentions of sincerity. And again, I don't like to suck up and kiss people's asses. I don't like to do that, right? And work that way. I just like to be honest with my intentions. Like, okay, like that's why I even asked Malaya, can I put this out there, right? Everyone's looking to hear from you. Can I put this out there? So I always try to sit there and say stuff. And if I don't want to put stuff out there, I won't, or I won't ask. I will ask if I feel like, I want to ask that person. In this case, everyone wanted to hear from Malaya. So, I mean, kudos to her for saying that, yeah, you can put this out there, because I really wasn't expecting her to say that in the
Mhm.
conversation. But at the end of the day, the bottom dollar, whatever you want to call it, bottom line is, you know what? These two babies, these two beautiful children who deserve all the love and everything in the world offered to them are missing for over 3 months and 13 days. And we have to watch this crap happen with a bunch of what I deem myself as a bunch of BS and bullshit. And it's just, I can't keep my mouth shut, and try to play nice ball when two children are missing anymore. I'm just tired of this bullshit between Daniel, Malaya, Janie. Those are the three people on the property. Daniel and Malaya were, of course, the caregivers of these two children. So they are responsible for being the biggest voice out there, and not this BS that's coming out and these inconsistencies or this hiding stuff, or, hiding like who does that? Again, who does that? People, they might justify it to themselves, their own reasoning. But you know what? Again, as a mother, I will fight all day long if my child or children were missing. Are you kidding me? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me that
Yeah.
a mother wouldn't do that?
And it's just stuff like I had my little grandson here the other day. They were visiting, and like he'll let out these. He's he's only 14 months old, but he'll just all of a sudden let out this what out of him, and we all laugh, right? Like it's funny, and it just comes out of nowhere, and it's excitement, whatever. But it's hilarious to us. And when he does something like that, and then I think of listening to Janie, and I'm thinking it's just so heartbreaking, how she spoke
Oh,
of these babies and Lily. And I'm thinking, and especially after a child is missing, because even if that annoyed me, my grandson doing that for whatever reason, maybe I'm just a cranky old bee, or I'm not feeling well, or whatever, right? It bugs you. Um, if he went missing, I would want to hear that again. I would not, I'd feel so guilty for the fact that it bothered me, and I would want to
mhm.
hear it again. I would never
Of course.
complain about it. Like,
Right.
it just breaks your heart.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's so frustrating.
it is, and that's why, as so many of us, I'm fed up. I'm literally fed up. It's just
Yeah.
like, come on. Like, again, all I have to do is look at these beautiful faces that are on the screen, and I'm angry and I'm mad to watch what's going on, and at the expense of the people that were in charge
Yeah.
of these children. Okay.
Like, if that was your little granddaughter, wouldn't you want to hear that scream again?
I s-
You know? You
it's-
wouldn't be sitting there complaining about it.
they're
Like,
beautiful. They're children. They're
Jesus, it
beautiful.
makes me
They're
mad.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. But so I'm going to play that video of Kent's there for the posters again.
Yep.
Kent Corbett 81 at gmail.com. $20 for the 2x2s. I think the big ones, the 4x4s, are $40 for that and stuff like that. Again, I want Nova Scotia to be splattered with Jack and Lily everywhere.
Yeah, I want to get another 4x4. The two I ordered two. I have one in the front yard and one in the window, and I want to order another one, a 4x4, to put it on the pole down the street because it's a high traffic area.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want people just everywhere they go, Jack and Lily. I see Jack
Mhm.
and Lily. I see Jack and Lily rocks. I see
Mhm.
them on like Micmac did, on a big mountain. There's Jack and Lily, bright orange, right? And you see that stuff out there whenever they're driving. Again, these type of what do you want to call it, real estate or whatever, or electional type posters, and that they're great. They're awesome. Um, you know, obviously people walking by a post and stuff like that. But yeah, but so let me play that quickly. We'll bring that up on stage. Justice and answers for Jack and Lily. Um, yeah. Okay, so give me a second here. Gotta go make it bigger. So again, this is Kent Corbett's interview. He's out of Pictou County, talking about Jack and Lily and bringing awareness to Jack and Lily. And again, signs are available through him. And I'll hit play.
So Lily and Jack Sullivan, ages 6 and 4, went missing from their home in Lansdowne Station. In a statement to Global News Thursday, RCMP say intensive investigative work is ongoing in relation to the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan, and tips continue to be received. We now have over 700 and are evaluated and prioritized by a dedicated team of investigators in the Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit with the assistance of agencies from across Canada.
We've had this in the past on a different disaster, the Westray disaster, and everybody descended on us there, and that's not something we want. But in this case, when two little ones go missing, everybody is really keen on finding those children so they can get them home safe and sound.
Kent Corbett's family has lived in Pictou County for generations. As Lily and Jack's case dragged on, he knew he had to do something to keep their story at the forefront of the news cycle.
I approached Advocate Printing and said that we wanted a deal on making up some election style signs, and we went from there.
Over the last week, his advocacy group has been fulfilling sign orders, with all proceeds going towards search and rescue and funding more awareness materials. Some of the children's family members have ordered signs for their yards as well.
The more people that are thinking about these kids every day will be the greater chance that we have to be able to bring them home.
Lily and Jack attended Salt Springs Elementary. As the new school year approaches, their school district says, "We have school psychologists, counselors, and regional support staff ready to help any students who are finding it challenging to be back on site at the school without the presence of their peers."
When those kids get back in the classroom to their teacher, it's going to be, did anybody find Jack and Lily? Kids that age aren't going to understand that the adults are doing everything they can. I wouldn't want to be that teacher having to explain that.
But Corbett says the community is still holding on to hope.
They're Pictou County's children now, and people need to know what happened.
Ella MacDonald, Global News, Pictou, Nova Scotia.
Always, again, wonderful to watch. And Kent, you're absolutely right. Hey, how did you get on top? Were you on top the whole entire time?
No, I don't think so. I liked what Kent said, but that politician, the ward clerk or whatever he is, needs to wake up and smell the roses.
Of course. You know, here, let's just put we'll put you on there, Kent. Okay, on there. Yeah, like, how did you get on top? I gotta switch us around 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I like being on top. I know it's a control thing. Can't help it. Every now and again, I'll let Charmaine go on. But what I do love what he said was, like I said, they're everyone's children. They're, you know, they're Pictou County's children. They certainly are. And again, I can't say enough. I know we're West Coast for me, but Novah, you're from the Pictou County area yourself, just like Kent. And let me ask you again. I want to ask you again. The vibe going on in the community as time has gone on, what would you say is still going on at this moment? Oh, here he comes.
Daniel. Daniel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Hello.
Yeah.
You can remove that ugly mugshot anytime you'd like.
Ken, I want to ask you.
At least his fingers are on his lap.
And is that ketchup or is that orangey part of your beard right there? Or is that from fish and chips?
No, that would be from fruit punch juice.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say it's his lip.
No, I drink pretty much juice, watered down.
And it stained your mustache.
And it stains your mustache.
You got me on that one because I truly thought I was just kind of cracking one on you, you know, and I really thought you were going to say, no, I just got, you know, like part of my beard that has some orange in it.
Yeah, no.
I didn't think it was fruit punch.
I'm not a redhead.
Well, all right. Well, no, so again, you guys are both from Pictou County, which means a lot. I love hearing, like, I know you guys both, like I said, live in that area. So, so going back to you quickly, Novah, on this one. So, so you were saying Daniel.
Yeah, again. total process. It didn't start out that way. It started out,
Right.
just no judgment. Even if anybody said anything about the property, people would say, no, don't be like that and whatever. And I'm still like that. You don't judge anybody by their property, but um and it went from that to like rugs. No, that's just rumor. And and then it progressed to, okay, there's something wrong here, there's something very wrong here. And total eyes, of course, on Daniel because of the inconsistencies and being untruthful. That none of that just made any sense. And it was a shock. It was a real shock factor. I mean, some of the, people I've spoken to, and I don't speak to a lot of people because I'm not out much due to my health conditions, but um, my circle pretty much is nurses and my family, who's pretty much all nurses or healthcare. But just shock factor, just like, oh my gosh, like something's wrong here. And they won't pay attention to anything he says anymore. And pretty much only Belinda, they will pay any attention to anything that she's stating. They find
Oh,
truth in that, but anything else is, yeah.
oh yeah. She's absolutely 100% just in it for, for answers for Jack and Lily, right?
Yeah.
Um, Again, we got the paternal grandmother, Malaya, by both, Cheryl had said this in her interview or whatever you want to call it on Hidden in the Fog. Same thing and Malaya said it herself, that Daniel basically, and I mean, everyone has to be accountable for their own actions first and foremost, but, um, you know, it's been pretty much 2 years for a lot of people that haven't, like Cheryl, hadn't seen Malaya up until May 2nd, right?
Yeah.
And Belinda, the grandbaby's close to 2 years as well, was getting, well, not quite, but close enough, right? Getting up there. And it's because, again, what Malaya has said was been a controlling, abusive type relationship. And yeah, so I mean, I think what happens in cases, and this happened in Sebastian's too, this will always happen, is that sometimes, like, again, when people don't know you, but maybe they know you and they've seen you in town or they know of your family and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, when a case like this comes, all your deepest, darkest secrets will usually come out, and then people will kind of see what's behind, that glass, the tin can there, type of idea, and then everyone goes, "Whoa." Like, I
Yep.
didn't realize that was going on, or that's how the relationship was and stuff like that, because it becomes everybody's business all of a sudden, especially when two children are missing, right, Kent? So, Kent, same thing for you. Can ask you that same question. Um, in Pictou County, what's the mood going on there right now?
Well, I don't get to go as many places I would be normally because right now I still got no wheels of my own.
Oh,
Although I
sure.
did send you a picture of my wheels for the weekend
I seen it.
because everybody knows that we're going to go through another parade tomorrow on the eastern part of the county. And I'm hoping, if my technological capabilities don't fail me tomorrow, I hope to be able to replay Rush's two songs
Oh, yes.
as I'm driving through. So it might be a real tearjerker for some people. So that's my warning to people now.
I Yeah, beautiful songs, beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
So also, I gotta correct you before anybody orders a 4x4 for
Did
$40.
I said
That's
it wrong?
not the right price.
Oh,
It would make sense, you would think, beans a 2x2 is 20,
Yeah,
but
what is it?
the 4x4 double-sided are 220.
Oh,
Stop.
No,
stop.
I'm serious because
Wow.
the way the sheet of material is on the machine, that's taxes in, of course, but
Right.
the way the sheet of material is, you can get 16 signs out of one piece of material for a 2x2 sign, but you can only get 2 signs out of the same material. So it's the material that costs,
Yeah.
right? You're only printing it on a bigger scale. So you're putting the material from 4
Yeah.
signs into one, and the ink from 4 signs into one. So yeah, no, the 4x4s are, like I say, they're 187.50 or something like that plus
Right.
tax. So it comes to 213 or something
Yeah.
like that. Just so that's why we were so lucky. When we ordered the first big 4x4 for the parades, double sided, the company screwed up when they were doing the layout, and they rotated the material 90 degrees, and therefore the stands that hold them up wouldn't go in the flutes of the sign, like you see me in the video putting the little stand up in the flutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they had it rotated on the first set of material that they did on the 4x4. So then it wasn't usable, but they had one side already printed. So we got an extra 4x4, which is going down to Belinda's for her niece,
Yeah.
because it's only one sided, and we didn't have to pay for that one. And then they did the proper 4x4 one, which since the last parade, it's been located as you've seen in pictures at exit 21 Highland Ford.
Yeah.
But when we picked the sign up today, when we are done Monday, we are looking for another location. So we have a couple calls out to different businesses to see if we can get it at another location. So if anybody has a location where they want to put a 4x4, it's on a stand. We have it on a stand and stuff. And so anybody that's out there, Pictou County or Colchester, I wouldn't want to take it too far away because we'd like to be able to move it around. That was the purpose of when we got it. So
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can find that picture. It's like so small when I'm looking at it. Like when I'm trying to pull up the pictures, it's like they're so small to
yeah.
kind of
I
look at.
think a 2x2 would be okay on the pole that I was thinking of down the road anyways. It's still going to stand out
Oh,
because,
yeah, exactly. And that's what
yeah,
we said with like last night when we were on the 2x2s, especially in a town situation,
right.
with the speed limit that people were going, you're going to be able to drive by and you're going to pick something out of it, whether it's Lily's picture or like you're not going to be able to read all the information on the sign. That's not what they're for.
But
But
just
they're,
that, where are they? That
yeah,
sticks out,
trigger.
right?
Like it's
Yeah,
going to trigger something in your head and make you think of them.
exactly.
And if you were in the area, or like if you seen them, or if you're in the area of when stuff happened out there, it'll make you think and question yourself. Well, did I see anything?
Yeah.
Well, no, I can't remember, but right. So that's what it is. But as far as the case goes, it's the big thing is that major crimes have been involved from day one. Um, when they were doing all the RCMP updates, they said that major crimes would be alongside doing a simultaneous investigation with the missing persons report, because at the point that it becomes anything other than the missing persons report, or case, they don't want to have to catch up major crimes. So that's why they investigate them simultaneously. And the lead investigators, like you say, I think by now, the lead investigators and the different agencies that they have involved across the country, according to the statement that Ella got as part of our story yesterday, they're investigating it that way. And you would think that, although it hasn't been public stated that it is now a criminal investigation, you could definitely see where there could be criminal elements to it, because there's criminal charges coming. Don't matter what happens.
Yeah.
And like you were talking off the start with where Barry Manilow or whatever his name is, where they had to drop the charges. Well, that's strictly because of double jeopardy, right? You can't, if you don't think that you can get a conviction or a confession, you may have to let things go for a little while.
Mhm.
Because if you charge them and you go to court and they're found not guilty, and 2 months down the road, you get 100% evidence proving that they were guilty, it don't matter. You can't charge them again because you can't break double jeopardy. So
Right.
that's why they have to be so careful. And
Now,
their motto, I believe, like you always hear it, that the RCMP will always get their man or woman, and it might not be as fast as we'd want, but if it comes to the result that everybody is hoping for, then I think they can live with that.
mhm.
Because I know myself, I'd rather it take time and they get it correct than to rush it
Absolutely.
and fuck up again.
Well, no. So I want to go back to this again between Nova. I'm going to ask you first. So yeah, okay, Daniel, right? I mean, the guy has done no favors to the community on his position with these inconsistencies and outright, lies and stuff like that, right? He's done it to himself. What about Malaya? Because what's been said about Malaya?
No, people are upset with Malaya as well. And I mean, I'm still
Confused?
on the fence with
Yeah, I get it.
Malaya. I'm still on the fence. I think there's more going on there than we know. But no, like anyone I have had discussions with,
Uh-huh.
they're not impressed with Malaya. No, but
So
not to the extent like with Daniel. They're
right,
more upset in the fact that why didn't she get the kids out of there, like before this happened,
right,
type thing. Like, yeah.
yeah. And what about you, Kent, for Malaya? Um,
Well, I think everybody knows the part that I can't understand, like I say, I can't speak from experience myself,
right.
but every mother that is in this chat, or every parent or grandparent from day one, cannot understand Malaya's reactions to the case. They cannot understand that it's her children that are missing, and whether they are still out there or not still out there, why isn't she pleading for them to be returned or brought home? Because as a mother, the other thing that people always say is that the worst thing for a parent to do is to bury a child. And I would believe that. It would be I would think it would be the hardest thing in the world.
Absolutely.
That's not the way the world is supposed to be. Our parents are supposed to raise us. Then we're supposed to sort of take care of them in their elders' years and take care of them in their last days until for that cycle to be interrupted by whatever, whether it's disease, nefarious actions, foul play, whatever it is, accidents. It's got to be the hardest thing in the world for a parent to bury a child. But if I had a choice as a parent to properly bury my children and pay respects, or believe that they're out in the woods, in the ground, or whatever, I think I would choose to bury my children.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in here from day one has always stated, you would never get me to leave the property. If I had to leave the property, I'd be back there every day searching.
Absolutely.
And the only reason why a parent wouldn't have those reactions if she knew what the result was. Now that's good or bad. What I'm saying, it's, but you would still, and I believe, like I know the Caucasian people or non-native people, if you want to put it that way, because I do believe that the indigenous people have a lot more ceremonies and ties to, it's not religion, but to their beliefs, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is,
Yeah.
but they have a lot more connection to those than what the white man is considered to have. They have a lot more ties to it, or like I say, I'm not sure what the exact word that I'm
Culture.
looking for is.
Culture.
But yes, like they're heavy into that, and it's their belief, and that's how they bring up their, like, look at how they deal with their elders, and their elders are the respects of their reservations and tribes, and everything else to do with that. And I'm not saying that non-natives don't. I'm just saying that indigenous are more spiritually, that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for, spiritually connected to those traditions than what non-natives are sometimes. So I would think that her reaction, whether she knows the result, whether it's good or bad, would be wanting her kids to be brought home. And if she had the information that could facilitate that,
Absolutely.
then why isn't she? I know it's hard to admit because, like I say, I still don't think there's an intent here by either one. I don't think they have the connection to do it. I think it would have been an accident, and I know it's hard to admit when you fucked up, because I have a hard time to admit it sometimes, but that is better than to leave the nation in limbo.
Yeah. And there's another child there too, which could.
Well, that's going to have a bearing on what happens with the
Yeah.
other two, definitely.
Yeah.
But
So if it was an accident and they're afraid they're going to lose the last remaining child,
Right.
well, they've lost
uh,
the last child until something happens anyway, right?
yeah, but but I mean, yeah, you know what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want that? What I'm saying, are you fighting to keep that one though, Nova? Like your actions, the way they are right now, the actions aren't fighting to try to keep that one either,
Yeah.
right?
Now,
They're not
yeah.
Because
going to.
the longer that this case goes on, and if it's worst case thought that it doesn't get solved, that one's not being settled in their favor.
Yeah.
I don't think, right, Nova. Okay, I'll go to Nova. Nova, I don't see a hope in hell of either of those two getting custody of Meadow.
No.
No,
No.
no.
I would be shocked.
I would be too. Does in chat, one or two? Do you guys think that one of the parents, either of the parents, will get custody of Meadow, or do you think two, none of them, neither?
Well, I'm not, but the other thing though, with that, Sonny, it's not whether they'll get them back, because like you say, the likelihood is either way, they'll be able to make a case that they wouldn't be fit. But
Uh-huh.
there is a chance of them still being in her life
Right.
with alternative guardianship. But
Hmm.
if this case doesn't get solved,
Right.
or if it's nefarious, then they're not likely to have any contact with her until she becomes an adult.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Even with alternative guardianship, where right now I would believe that if the case gets solved, there could be alternative family guardianship. I'm not saying with who, because I have no idea, but there could be alternative family guardianship where both parents would still have access to be in the child's life.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. I mean, that's simple as that, right? So I have to wait and see how that exactly plays out. Hopefully the judge is watching this channel right now, and and it was just like, Daniel, Malaya on this one. And that's I mean, gist of it. I know Belinda feels and others feel like it's like the concern is about Meadow only. Like, what about Jack and Lily? And I want to say this too, Kent, right? And I said it to you guys yesterday as well, is that Jenny's interview, it was all about trying to dispel rumors and say the truth and bring them to the property. It wasn't about Jack and Lily.
No.
It wasn't anything about, you know what, like, did you hear Janie at all saying, you know what, we're going to start regrouping here, putting out posters. Me and my son and that are going to do this. We're going to do that. No. It was about trying to tell the internet, well, I'm going to bring you to the property and I'm going to talk about the door that you heard and I'm going to say this. And it wasn't even about Jack and Lily. It was just about trying to dispel rumors.
She specifically asked her why it's so important to her, and she didn't say because we want as much help as we can get to locate Jack and Lily. We do not believe that they are in the woods. Well, she said she doesn't believe they're in the woods. She did say that, but that wasn't her answer. Her answer was, because we want to make sure that everybody who's saying that we unalive these kids and blah, 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 that we didn't do anything. We did nothing wrong. And I'm thinking, no, that's not what you should be saying. That's not what you should be saying.
Right, because it's not coming from a true place in the genuine heart.
Right.
It's coming about perception and ego and about them instead
Right.
of Jack and Lily.
That is not why you should want media at your home. You should want them there you said you don't think they're in the woods.
Right.
So you should be wanting the media there to get as much help as you can and get the word out there about Jack and Lily, not to dispel ridiculous rumors of what people are saying on Facebook, which is all
But
trash.
we can say that about everybody involved. That's the problem. The only one that is out there pleading for, and she's not really pleading, but she's trying to dig and represent the children, is Belinda.
Right.
And this isn't a dig at Cody, but like, and maybe he is behind the scenes. I don't know. If if she wants to answer that he is, then that's fine. But there, the public perception is that the only one speaking out in the favor of trying to find out what happened to the kids is Belinda. Now, maybe Belinda's speaking so heavily and convincingly, not just for herself, but maybe she's speaking for Cody too, and that would be understandable where he hasn't been in their lives. But everybody is doing the same thing. And the one thing that I picked out, and I never said this before, but I think a lot of people have probably thought it in the chats. The little bit of information that Janie gave on Jack and Lily, like I say, I feel that she's sincere the way that she spoke. But the thing that would, I think, raise an eyebrow for anybody is that you can tell that there's definitely a difference between Jack and Lily being her step grandchildren and Daniel and Christie's his ex's kids. You can feel the tension and the difference that these two were treated differently than these two, because these two are my kin and these two are step grandchildren. I picked that up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else
And
had or not.
to put it in perspective, can you imagine if when Belinda had sat with the reporter and she had said, why is it important for you to speak with us today? And Belinda said, well, I don't want anybody thinking that I did anything wrong here. We didn't do anything here. My son did nothing. I did not. Like, can you imagine if that would have been her answer?
Right.
They didn't even ask her that because there's no reason. They know why she's sitting in front of them. It's evident why she's sitting in front of them. But they sure asked Janie, and that reporter that did the interview with Daniel asked him that question at the end too. If there's one more thing you'd want to tell people, well, he didn't even say again. I want to get the word out, please. He didn't give that response either. But yeah, imagine if they had asked Belinda that and that was her response. We'd all be going, what the heck?
Absolutely to that. Yeah. And again, thank you guys for everyone being here, by the way, and please hit that like and share for Jack and Lily. Keep the awareness out there. And Belinda, again, I'm so sorry that the family members that really want answers for Jack and Lily are going through this, and that you guys have to watch this, what we deem as a circus act going on right now. I just find it absolutely disgusting myself. I make no excuses for Malaya or her actions at all. I mean, I understand. I can understand about the relationship side, but that doesn't justify anything to do with Jack and Lily. Everyone is responsible and culpable for whatever position they put themselves in. She knew that, according to Malaya, she knew that Daniel was doing math. Again, prior to Meadow being induced, or her being induced with Meadow being born and stuff like that. She's obviously, everything we've heard is about the disgusting state of the inside, and we can see on the outside they managed to pretty up their basically their dive into what they would probably deem as a castle at this point, and work on that very hard. And you're like going, what's going on here? Like, you put all this effort into trying to make everyone see visually for that interview, especially, and maybe possibly for the children. But you know what? They went to all these great lengths to do that. What about Jack and Lily? This is what's really ticked me off. And like I said, Malaya, as a mother, I'm sorry about Malaya, but you know what? You might be kind of not speaking out and doing all that stuff. Absolutely wrong on every level, because whether those children are alive or dead, it's up to you. It's your due diligence for you to speak out and be an advocate for your missing children. That's your responsibility. Daniel's, he's the stepfather. He can claim whatever he wants, honestly. But as the mother of these children, right? Your family should be speaking out, right? And being an advocate for Jack and Lily. So what's going on here, with Malaya? I'm sorry. To me, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Like that Paul or David Paulide said or whatever, never before has he seen a case where the mother left the property, where the mother actually left the property the next day of two children that are missing, right? So that tells me, that, in my personal thoughts, that you know something, and you're culpable of something that had to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily, in my opinion. This is not how it goes. This is not how you fight for Jack and Lily and in that, remember those messages? All she kept saying, right? I kept asking her, okay, Malaya, if this is what you want, let's make it happen, right? You keep saying that you want your babies back, right? So what's your best resource? Is to be out in the news, in the public, pro-advocating for your children. So why are we fighting harder than you? You can sit there and put up some posters or whatever it is that you might do or might not be doing. But these are your children. And again, there's no answer at all. Well, maybe this much of an answer. Other than that, there's no answer to excuse this type of behavior from Daniel or Malaya, the two people in charge. Mr. Inconsistency, right? Who speaks way too much, just like your mother speaks way too much. Again, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree there when it comes about wanting it to be about themselves, talking about themselves. And then you got the actual physical mother that can't even pro-advocate vocally for her children, but yet she keeps every other sentence was, I want my babies back. I want my babies back. Well, yeah, we want your babies back too. And guess who knows the answers to that? In our humble opinion, in our modest opinion, would be, answers for Jack and Lily that you should be fighting for. So I'm sorry. As a mother, I can't even with what Malaya is doing. And she's responsible for being the advocate. Obviously there's family members for sure, right? But she's responsible. If she wants her children back, right? Then pop your ass on an interview with one of the channels, not the channels, but like the news network. And all you need to say is, please help, bring awareness to Jack and Lily. But Malaya, you know the answers. That's the issue, right? In my opinion. You think that? I can't say anymore. As a mother, you guys, I know, Kent, you're not a mother, but you spoke very well for not being a mother on there. But it's so heartbreaking to know that family members that truly want answers have to watch their bullshit.
Steve, what are you saying? There's a fundraiser for Malayan apparently up to 40,000? What are you talking about? I don't think. I never heard that.
No, I haven't either.
Me neither.
The only fundraiser that I know of that's continuing out there is right now, there is a GoFundMe for people that want to help donate to buy the signs. If they're international, because it's hard to do international e-transfers for some people. And the only other part is myself and Janice, which we should be having details probably the end of next week when she's done in Halifax with her dad. But the items that they were collecting for the silent auction in the original fundraiser for August 9th, we will be doing an online auction through the Facebook page or a Facebook page for those items because they were already donated. She already had a bunch of them collected. There was others that were in the mail on their way to us, and there's others that we collected since then. And as far as anything else, I haven't heard of anything else happening
Was it an
right
AI
now.
generated?
There's-
Just quickly. Sorry, I was putting the fat. It's hot, smuggy people. Okay, now I want to get something different now, if you guys don't mind. Appreciate everything. I want to get to this timeline crunch. I want to talk about this 12 o'clock time when Malaya supposedly. Okay, we'll just use it. I'm not showing any receipts or anything like that myself. Again, it's through Alana saying it to Belinda. But again, we believe Belinda, so it has to be true, right? Okay. So Malaya wakes up, whatever. Daniel's high as a freaking kite. Obviously he's going to deny any of that. Malaya's already stated about, math. Again, Daniel can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. That's not going to happen. Anyways, so Daniel's up, whatever, tweaking, whatever he's doing, all that stuff. He stays up all night, pretty much. We hear about separately, we hear about a vehicle between 12 to 5. We hear approximately 6 trips. I'm going to start with you, Nova, on this one. What do you make of this? And do you feel it's like a family member that is helping out with a vehicle? What's your thoughts on this, on the vehicle side and the 6 trips and
Well, first of all, did you just say that Malaya is now saying that she woke up at 12 midnight?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that'd be the time that Daniel turned the bedroom light on as well?
I guess so. Again, I'm just going with the, like the information, but it's Malaya said it to Alana, so Alana told it to Belinda. So roughly, let's just say, okay, that because Daniel does say Malaya was asleep, type of thing, and he went to bed, or turned on the kids' light. He said he went to bed after 12. But anyways,
Okay. Well, I'll just go by the whole Daniel turned the light on.
sure. Yeah, just start whatever you want to.
Yeah, and I do believe he was up doing his thing, for sure, without even hearing speculation, or well, I guess it's alleged. It's alleged because it's coming from Lana. Like if you told me that Malaya said that to you, I would 100% believe that. If Belinda told me Malaya said that to her, it'd be 100% clad iron.
Well, I was going to say,
clad iron 1,000%.
Well, whenever we don't have the receipts to kind of show,
exactly.
It will just be alleged.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's
right,
totally alleged at this point.
Yeah.
But it's besides the point, really, because I think we can pretty much gather, even without that, even me knowing that, I already surmised that. But and
I was trying to find that.
So the vehicle. Well, here's the thing. Lindsay made it a point to say in that article that there's a vehicle of Daniel's, a blacked out sedan, an older blacked out sedan of his that is on Earl's property. And it's there because it needs repairs. Excuse me, that he can't afford. Now, to me, a vehicle needing repairs doesn't mean that it's not drivable, It just means it's not roadworthy, so it's not a vehicle that would pass inspection, or probably doesn't have an recent inspection sticker on it. So in my opinion, that certainly could quite possibly be the vehicle. Being that those vehicles, and especially the older models, and in my experience living around here, it's the cool thing to have the standard, and many of those were standards. So that'd be like your Hondas, your well, not so much now, the Toyota, not Camrys, but yeah, the Camrys too, but the Corollas. But back in older ones, as my husband would call it, they soup it up. I always say zoop it up. Um, and Mazdas. So whether it's a vehicle of that type, I would certainly say, if she's saying it's a blacked out sedan, those are pretty much your styles of blacked out vehicles that guys that age, uh, of his age group, I should say, because it's probably from prior to, probably not more recent, but that he was driving that. Anyway, so quite possibly, is that the vehicle, right? I don't know. If not, then obviously it was somebody else driving a vehicle, right? And who that would be is anyone's guess, really.
At this point,
you
yeah.
Did you hear what I said about the vehicle at Earl's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kent,
You want me to play a devil's advocate again, do you?
no,
We
not really.
were in this last night. I
Yeah.
believe that the tip has been submitted about a vehicle, but there has been nothing confirmed about a vehicle, or if the tip was relevant to the investigation. And I would also, I'm being told by different people that the most recent vehicle that Daniel has driven, and the one that is at Earl's right now, that isn't fit for the road for whatever reason, not inspected, not running, I don't know, is supposed to be a blue colored minivan. As
Well,
far as the blacked out sedan, we don't know how recent Daniel could have owned that. I finally seen, and I don't know where you got it, Sonny, but the two pictures of the black Honda and the black
Oh.
Hyundai.
We have to ignore that, because that was the wrong location of what Belinda thought was Earl's. Probably.
Oh, okay. No, I thought that when I
So-
was looking at the picture today, that looked like the trailer's driveway. And I said, well,
Yeah.
maybe that was the vehicle that Malaya had and Janie had before Malaya's grandmother, Patty, bought her the white Nissan SUV. And apparently the vehicle that Janie has now is also a Nissan SUV. I don't know what color it is, but
Mhm.
and the other thing that about vehicles, and I went back and I tried to find, and I thought I found the one that was from like the aerial photos of the trailer, Sonny.
Yeah.
Remember the first day photos that we had at the start?
No.
Well, remember that you had the picture of the trailer and the camper, like all the junk strewn in the backyard.
Yeah.
That was from May 2nd or 3rd. I'm not sure what day it was from,
Right. Yeah.
but
yeah,
that was from the first couple days.
yeah.
But I went back looking, and there's no Nissan SUV there that I could see. And
All those vehicles.
everybody already told us, and not when I'm saying everybody, I mean Daniel's side of the family, Malaya's side of the family, friends, they all said that Malaya's vehicle was taken after she had left the property, so she didn't leave the property until after 4 p.m. on Saturday after the briefing. So, and it wasn't operational. They got it towed,
Right.
as Logan said, search and rescue towed it, but I think it was RCMP that would have towed it and told them to take it wherever, to look at it possibly, and then deliver it to wherever she was staying. But I don't remember seeing a white Nissan SUV in the driveway in that picture.
Do you have that picture or how long ago did you send me that one? Because I got pictures on my iPad and pictures here.
But
now,
like I say, I'm talking about that first day, and I went back to try to find it, and I couldn't find anyone.
Is that
So
when-
that tells me that either the pictures weren't taken possibly till Monday, but we had pictures that first day of the property.
I know. It starts getting all muddled after a while. Let me just see here, Kent.
So I just want to say, while she's looking for that picture, that I don't think Lindsay confused a blue van with a blacked out sedan.
No,
Two
and I'm
completely
not
different
saying
vehicles.
I'm not saying that she did,
No, she
but
did.
because there's multiple vehicles on Earl's property, but also,
But he
I
must have
spoke-
told her that, because
I
where
spoke
would she
to-
come up with it being Daniel's car, right?
well, she would. What were you going to say, Sonny?
Are you talking about in 1407 driveway?
Yeah.
That picture. So hold on, let me just pull that up.
Yeah, the ones in the property from the first day or two of the case. Like when everybody complains that the backyard wasn't like fit and all that stuff. I don't remember seeing a white SUV in the driveway.
No,
Is
I
that
don't
one of-
either. I thought all the vehicles were dark colored.
Daniel, isn't that the vehicle that Daniel was driving that morning? Remember when he?
No, the white Nissan is the one that Patty bought Malaya.
Right. What vehicle did he hop into that morning? Remember when he
Yeah,
automatically?
Yeah, I thought he took her vehicle.
Yeah.
But he
because-
came back. He
Yeah.
wasn't gone all day. He
Oh,
got back shortly after the RCMP got there.
No, he
Once the RCMP got there, he wasn't allowed back out till a little bit later when the guy in the military uniform told him he could go search in the areas where they had already been through with the search.
that vehicle, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that vehicle left down Lansdowne
Yes.
Station Road?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that, Sonny, and I was like, oh God, am I just
Yeah.
thinking that? I thought
No,
for
'cause
sure I
that
heard it was left
yeah,
down on the
no.
road.
It was left. Yeah. It was left on. Actually, you know where that
But
came
they
from?
said it wasn't operational. That it was broke down. That's why they had it towed. So which one is it?
No, I don't.
I know
Probably
we're
that Daniel wasn't supposed to be driving.
If you go back to Logan's interview, she said the reason why, because originally the baby was going with her and Malaya was staying at the trailer. Secondly, the baby and Malaya was going with Logan. And then when Cindy got there, Logan had to take all the stuff out of her car, put it into Cindy's car, because they were supposed to come back. They were supposed to come back for Malaya's car, but they didn't. They left it there, and they had to get it towed because it wasn't fit to go wherever.
Right.
But I think they would have had it. Like, honestly, I can see the RCMP taking it in and doing a search of it and then shipping it off to her. I would think that in my eyes, I would think that what would have happened is once they found out that that was Malaya's vehicle, and the same as you're saying that Daniel took it and done the searching, when they get back to if they took it back to the RC command post, I would say, all right, you're not taking that vehicle anywhere else. Give us the keys and we'll have it towed. I can see that being the situation, but that's not the situation that we were told.
I mean, I could sit here and
Well, nothing that we were told. Nothing that we're told.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're thinking that Daniel's the only one that's lying, and apparently we're being told lies by the whole family on both sides right from the start.
Well, I think it has more to do with it not being broke down, but that there was probably Daniel is not supposed to be driving, or maybe the vehicle missed an inspection or something like that. Like, who knows? I think it was more due to legal stuff.
But her side, the family said that it wasn't operational.
But that wasn't like. I mean, I remember this too. Exactly what Belinda has up on screen.
Yeah, that's what I remember too.
That's exactly what I remember. Yeah. And if somebody says it wasn't operational, I think that was them like talking out of their butt on that one. Because Malaya was too upset to drive. Police towed it to where Malaya was because too emotional. It wasn't broken down.
Yeah. Who said that it wasn't operational? Who said that? I don't remember it.
Well, that's what I remember Logan saying, that it couldn't be drove because and that's why they had it towed.
I wouldn't believe nothing that she says.
Well, I'm just going by, they're all telling us. But anyway, going back to
the whole Mackenzie side,
going back to the car at Earl's. I had called, I was talking to Lindsay before the article came out because she was trying to make contact with Daniel. And she asked if she knew I was in contact with him from the channel. But after the article came out, I had messaged her and asked her, I said, did you get close enough? Or would you, if you were close enough, would you be able to tell the make of the vehicle, like the type of vehicle? And she had said no. I wasn't that close. The only thing I could tell you, it was a four-door sedan. And any four-door is considered to be a sedan. So I said, okay. And she said, I was told that it was one that Daniel previously drove. And I said, okay, we'll take it at that. Now, who told her that it was? Because I'm sure Daniel wasn't communicating with her, so I don't know who told her that she was told that it was previously the one Daniel had drove, or how recently it was. But the last one that I'm being told that he was driving was this minivan. And I have no idea how recently that was, if that was at the time when the kid went missing or before that. Because I don't even know. I would suspect he has a license, but because they always said it was the vehicle wasn't fit for the road was the reason why he wasn't driving. But
that it needed repairs, so Daniel has a license, but he doesn't have insurance.
Yeah.
Right. But his vehicle was said that it needed repairs. It needed to be fixed so that, he couldn't drive it, basically.
Whatever was wrong with it, yeah. And whether like Nova says that That doesn't mean that it's not running.
Oh no,
That
trust
just
me.
means that it's not road legal.
Right. Trust me. In these small little towns like this, these people, they don't care or not. If that car is drivable to me, they'll be driving it. They
Mhm.
don't really give a shit because, I mean, honestly, in a lot of these cases in these small towns, you don't know how many times they get tickets and stuff like that because they're driving without insurance, driving,
Out in the backwoods, but you ain't gonna be doing it in town, because if you're doing it in town, you're gonna get towed, like stopped
Malaya
and
was
towed.
taking him to work, right? Yeah,
What?
right. I said Malaya was taking him to work in her car.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Well, he was going to work with Ron too, right?
Yeah.
Ron was picking him up.
I'm sorry, but at what point, Daniel, did you not be successful in this adventure? The stocks that you were talking about. What all happened to this Fortune 500 shit going on? Instead, you're leeching and mooching, you guys, off of everybody else because your asses can't do things properly. You guys owe 34K to the government and shit because everyone knows that when the government gets at you because of fraud, because you're not claiming proper common law and shit like that. You guys owe a ton of money. You leech off of Patty. You leech off of freaking, like, even your mother can't obviously help support you because your freaking daddy over there is buying you guys groceries, bringing you wood and stuff like that because you guys can't take care of your own damn business over there. And then it just, oh my God, these,
Linda, I don't know what color Janie's vehicle is, but it's supposed to be the same type of Nissan SUV, because they had stated that it's very similar to Malaya's. But there were a couple years difference, but there was basically the same vehicle. But I don't know what color hers was.
yeah, I want to say silver. I don't know why. I want to say silver. For some reason. Could be wrong. Now, Kent, you can't see the picture that's on screen. But there's like a white one in there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Is there? Okay,
Yeah,
like I say, well, that's why I was trying to find one with the white SUV, because I know that they had taken it to the briefing, but it was supposed to have been towed from the driveway, as far as I knew.
The lighter
And
colored one would be Malaya's, and the other one must be Janie's, because they're the exact same vehicle, except one looks white and one looks silver.
Yeah.
Like a silver gray.
So yeah, because they're, like I say, I know different people have stated that they're almost the same vehicle. There's one's a 2014 and one's a 2015, or like they're very close, other like that, and they're supposed to be the same make and model.
Yep, I would say.
So
yeah. So, wow. Almost forgot what we were talking about. Okay, let's go back a step. Who do you guys believe is the neighbor? Black House?
Oh, Black House for sure.
Kent, Black House?
yeah, we proved that, didn't we? He's the only neighbor, the only house on that road. Well, I guess it all depends on what your definition of a neighbor is, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
he's the only house before or after Daniel's place on that road. And as far as I'm concerned, if you live on another road, well, then you're not a neighbor. Don't matter how close you are.
yeah.
Your neighbors are on another street.
Yeah, it's a neighbor.
You're in the neighborhood, but you're not a neighbor.
Yeah.
The neighbor would be the only other house that is on that road before or after. And the one before Daniel's place, we know, is the farmhouse that people only come home in the summer. Then you've got the abandoned house, whether that's just before or just after, and then you have the Black House. So the only neighbor in the neighborhood is the Black House.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel did try saying that the neighbor was across the road, which I think is, and up the hill, whatever that's supposed to mean. Search and rescue was here. Okay. This area here. So unless how would this person know that they were going to that house? What, did they see through all the trees? Because this is 2024 in May, right? Of 2024. So what did they do? that do they know that they stalked here, right?
No.
But even in the black house, unless
Mhm.
he went out to the end of the driveway, he doesn't know
No,
think-
other
he
than
would,
by sound,
by sound, he would have to know because there's no
right?
other neighbors in
Because
between.
he can't see Daniel's driveway from his driveway,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
right?
no other neighbors in between. So
No, but I'm
the
saying, like, if the car was stopping, it's either stopping to turn up the other road, which then you would hear it like rev
continue
back up,
on. Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Where
Yep.
if it's turning in the driveway, it's not going to get loud again
exactly.
for at least a matter of minutes,
Yeah,
right? So he has to be going by sound, because if he would have got up from whatever he was working on his car between midnight and 5 a.m. and went to the road on the second or the third trip, you're not going to do it on the first trip. No, I'll give you that. But on the second or third trip, if he was he could have been at the end of his driveway, because he's only 20 feet from the road. It's not like he's back a long driveway.
yeah. And that, do you know
And
that
then he
that's
would have been
only?
able to tell us what type of vehicle it was.
Right.
Not
I
only
know. Why
not
didn't
only
he
a
go out
standard.
to the road?
Hold on. Can't, please. Let Nova, when Nova's speaking, please don't overtalk.
I'm
you guys-
not.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
It must be lag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nova?
he probably couldn't hear me.
Yeah, but it's just that because when the people are listening to this right now, they're hearing exactly what I'm hearing, and that Nova's trying to talk, you're trying to talk, Nova's trying to talk, you're trying. So each of you guys just take your moments and then stop and then let the other speak. So go ahead, Nova.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, do you know that that's only a 6-minute walking distance?
Yeah, for you talking about between the 1407.
Yeah, from Daniels to the Black House. That's only 6 minutes.
That's the only part of your live I think I caught. Was that part
Yeah.
right there? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how close they are. And so if the car was, even if the car is coming out of that driveway on the Martell Mackenzie property and going down the other way, not even towards the Black House, and then coming back, he would still know that it's coming from that driveway because the sound's stopping and not coming any further, right? So either way that car is going, that Black House would know where that vehicle's coming from and going back to.
Well, he'd be able to conclude that
Yeah,
because of the sound.
conclude. Yeah,
Because if the car was turning up the other, like the Lansdowne, or not the Lansdowne Road, but the other road, the McLeod Road, or whatever we said it was last night. Like when the car makes a turn, he'd automatically have to speed up to go up that other road, right? So if you're driving a 5-speed and you hear the downshifting, and then you don't hear nothing for a matter of minutes until they pull back out on the road and come back, either whether it was towards him or away from him, whatever way it was, you'd be able to distinguish the difference between the two.
yeah.
But the question, like I say, the only thing, like everybody's saying, oh, well, the RCMP confirmed it. The RCMP confirmed it. No, they didn't. The RCMP confirmed that they received the tip. They didn't say anything beyond that. The same as they haven't said anything beyond that on a lot of stuff that we question.
Now, I'm going to speak. So, Globe and Mail, Lindsay Jones, specifically in the article, says she talked to the neighbor. Okay? So, honestly,
He's not lying.
Pardon?
That doesn't mean that he's telling the truth.
Let me finish.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, bottom line is this, okay? Is that we hear about Daniel being up all night, right? We hear about a vehicle separately that comes into play on the 8th, the tip called in. Okay. Again, in the article, Globe and Mail spoke to the neighbor, right? So do you honestly think that they're going to put that in the article that they spoke to the neighbor if he didn't confirm that that's what he heard?
Oh, well, You mean to tell me that he's going to put a tip in on May 8th
Yep.
that he heard this vehicle, but just because the reporter comes in and asks him the question 3 months later, he's going to tell her anything different than that?
do you-
No. He's going to tell her exactly what he said that he told the RCMP, which is what he did. He told her that he heard this vehicle standard. He
Yep.
was able to detect that it was a standard between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m.
So how do you know that 3 months later that's when the Globe and Mail talked to him? This was a big story, right? This was a big story that was involved here. It wasn't just like a couple day story. This was a big story that they were obviously working on. So how would you know?
Well, it was sometime in the past because she said, as in the past tense, that the neighbor said that he reported this car on May 8th.
What about
So from the time that she was talking to him, she wasn't talking to him on May 8th. She was talking to him sometime after that. And he said that on May 8th, he made the tip. And the RCMP confirmed the tip. But that's all we have from them. They haven't come out and said...
Don't you think common sense, but don't you feel that out of all this, because I know that you're trying to stick to technicalities about everything when it comes to this, and that's not how life works. I'm sorry, it's not. It's common
But that's
sense.
not what I'm looking at, though, Sonny. What I'm looking at is, I believe the RCMP, like I say, if they received that tip on May 8th, right? And they felt it was pertinent or credible, then I think they would have asked for dash cam footage a hell of a lot sooner than 20 days later.
So I honestly was looking at a comment as you were talking there. I know what you were trying to say though, because you've already said it before. But hold on a second. Tammy says, Sonny, can I ask you a divot? I cannot believe I'm asking this or sling this, but I'm willing to ask if cadaver dogs were in. Not that we know of at all, by the way.
All we've known stated recently is that apparently all RCMP dogs are supposed to have some cadaver training, but as far as cadaver specialist dogs, we have no idea. The last time we were told anything about them is that it could be the next step.
Yeah. So I did research on the RCMP dogs. They are all trained and I did a couple of videos on it.
Thank you.
They are all trained in human remains detection. And that's right from the RCMP. If you watch the videos I did, it's actually, there's one short one I did, and it shows the RCMP themselves, the ones who train the dogs and the handlers talking about the dogs. And that's what it first starts off right out of his mouth. All of our dogs are trained in human remains detection.
And that's where
now,
I got the information.
Yeah,
from
and they
you.
call them HRD dogs. And outside of that, they also have the highly trained cadaver dog, which is years of training, ongoing training, and it's only used for that. And they are used in more of long-term remains searching. So I think it is 2 or more years, if my memory is correct. And for they can get a scent on remains in concrete. They can get find, like, the children that were buried, the indigenous children that were unalived in the schools, you know what I'm talking about. Well, all Canadians would. um, they they assisted in that. So those were very old remains that were buried. So they were able to assist in that. So that's what they used the cadaver dog for. Not that they wouldn't use it for other remains as well, but the HRD dogs they wouldn't use, or the human remains, yeah, HRD dogs they wouldn't use for that type of like with the old and the in the concrete and stuff like that. So those dogs, the police dogs that were on site for Lily and Jack, they would have had the human remains detection training because they all do. And one thing I am curious about, though, now we know they were on the property because that was stated, and Lindsay even stated it in her article. And I had also heard that the dogs were inside as well. Well, we know they were in Janie's trailer because she stated that. And I also heard they were in Daniel's trailer, but we'll call that allegedly because I can't state it as fact. Um, I'm curious when search and rescue was pulled out in between them coming back. RCMP stated that they were going to remain on site and continue their end of the investigation. I'd be very curious if they had the dogs with them then as well. I would speculate that they did. I would hope that they did while they did their searching around the woods. Um, and if they had any hits. And when they called search and rescue back in, because remember, they were given very specific places Amy stated to go to, and that's all they're told. They're not told anything else. All they're told is you need to go back here, here, and here, and wherever. I don't know if it's 5 sites or wherever they were told to go back to or what the number was. If those possibly might have been areas, if the RCMP did have the dogs with them, did they hit on anything and that's why they're told to go back to certain sites? Just total speculation, who knows, right? Of course, we know one of the areas is where the boot print and the blanket was found.
Now, there's a correction to that. And I'll be correcting it more. The boot print and the blanket, or the footprint and the blanket.
Footprint, yes. Footprint, yes.
And the blanket were actually on the same side, not on across from each other. They were on the same side.
Oh,
Yep. And the boot print was actually further down the pipeline than the blanket. Okay, so I pinned it a little higher until I get confirmation where exactly to position that pin. But so, there is a correction to this. And just like yesterday, sorry, you guys, again, this was my bad originally, because when this information came out, I remember, I'm pretty sure it was hidden in the fog that had this little map of it all. I'm pretty darn sure it was. And so, but as time has come on, because I honestly just simply used what I thought was, because of hidden in the fog, talking with family members, that was accurate. And I was wrong, simple as that. So I had Earl's place on the other side. So the Earl's place, the blanket, and the print are on the same side, which would be the left-hand side of that road. 289, is it? Is that 289 or Lansdowne? Down Lansdowne Road, right? Let me see here. Yeah, Lansdowne Road. Okay. So pink blanket. Earl Martell's is on the left side. I had it across the street here. But anyway, so yeah, the child's a footprint. I got to change that, actually, don't I?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a footprint on the pipeline, not a boot print. And from the way they were describing it, it was like 3.2 kilometers, like according to the headings. When they called for the dog to come and hit on it, I think you can get that pinpoint from Plunder's audio
Or that too. She's like, that's like sifting through. Well, I guess I could, do
Well,
the
it's in the one video, right?
Well, which one? The first one?
Yeah, it'd be in her first video, right? When they
Oh,
called.
I was gonna say something and I forget now. Oh, right. So according to Belinda, Malaya had told her that Jack would sometimes take off his boots, right? But can't just correct me if I'm wrong, or Nova. It was one footprint or one set.
My
the pipeline?
understanding is
Yeah.
one footprint
Same.
is how they always said it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Both places, as far as I understand, both places, the one in the dooryard and the one on the pipeline, was a single footprint.
Yeah.
It was a footprint and a boot print, but it was just one in both locations, from what I understand.
I don't like to do stuff like that during a live. If Tammy wants to email and come up and speak about something, again, you guys trying to run a live and trying to read all your guys' comments and stuff like that. I don't have colon, but if Tammy wants a link, she can send me an email to atcrimingshame@gmail.com if she wants to come up and talk and have an avatar just like Kent and just like Nova here. So again, I don't know. Sunny, how can I give you my number? Heart to heart.
I read Charmaine's comment, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. She said it was no insurance, so if that's the one that you want us to read.
Tammy, and you can just answer me in here, okay? Are you a family member? Do you live in Pictou County? Of any of that nature? Okay. Just ask you. And so sorry. Going back to this, I want to go back to this. Okay. I really hate to try to deviate when I'm on a live. For people saying, oh, I sent you an email or I sent you that. I'm not one of those big multitaskers. In fact, it more gives me anxiety when I'm sitting there trying to struggle around. It's bad enough I try to look at my messenger a little bit just to make sure I'm not getting messages on this stuff. So anyways, again, I have an email. It's called atcrimingshame@gmail.com and stuff like that. But again, going back to what Belinda said that Malaya told her was that Jack would sometimes take off of his boot. Okay. Now, I think when I was talking to Belinda, I'm pretty sure this is what she said, that it ended up becoming contaminated because someone went out there with a child to start searching in the area as well. So
But
don't know.
we only heard that from Daniel, wasn't it?
Belinda, was that from Daniel? Well, like I know Malaya had said to her that Jackie boy, Jack would take off his boots. But again, are we
No,
really
I'm talking about the fact that a kid came to the search. Weren't we told that from Daniel?
I remember Daniel said that, but we can ask Belinda. She's in here. Okay. So then if you can't, Tammy, then you got to email me at atcrimingshame@gmail.com on there. Again, I ain't here. I just want to say this, and I want to make this very clear. Again, unless you have pertinent information, for me, for Jack and Lily, and it's not just a bunch of speculations that you want to talk about with me and stuff like that. I have a lot of people that message me and talk to me. So I want to make it very clear that I am nobody's therapist in the first place for phone calls and stuff like that. If somebody has information that they want to add to Jack and Lily's case, absolutely. But if people want to call me, like personally call me and stuff like that, I don't have room for thoughts and speculation and stuff like that. That's what my email is for. If people want to put that out there and stuff like that. Okay. I'm not here. I'm just here to be blunt and honest. Okay. I got a lot of stuff that goes on. Right. So I want to make it very clear that I only want information or pictures of rocks and stuff. Right. or if there's something really important that I should see that you guys feel. But I don't have time to sit there and go and sift through everyone's emails, especially the ones that are like this. I don't have time for it. To answer messenger stuff, I don't. I try to cut to the chase, get to the facts. That's all I want with this case, is just facts or knowledge of important information besides the carrying stuff that we do to the rocks and people that are doing stuff like that. Okay? So I am a family. I thought you just said no. I thought you just said no. That's I am oh wait, am I family? I what? What? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Right? Stuff like that. That's a different side. I'm not sure what that means though. I am I am I family. I no, can't understand that word. Can you retype that if you could, please? Anyways, so going back to that. So, is Belinda still here? Did she answer? No. Okay.
Yeah, she said, I think she said Justin, and I thought it was Justin as well. I think in Lindsay's article it said Justin had said that.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to go reread that article. It's kind of like, when you hear it the first day or two, stuff like that, and then after a while, certain things start to fade out of your brain, right?
It's
Because
a long article.
it's a long article. Absolutely, she said Justin. Okay, because honestly, from the time that article has come out to the information that my brain tries to keep in it, it's a lot. And then sometimes people say something, and I'm like, yeah, like just like me re-listening to Wade's video, very telling. There's so many things
Mhm.
in there that when you haven't listened to it the second time or third time even, that there's lots of tidbits in there, lots of things. And I think a lot of it's very accurate. And so I want to go back to this one. Someone was earlier talking about burner phones, right? Absolutely. So we all know that people that are into drugs now, Wade had made a comment about that Daniel uses, sells, and makes, right? Now, we don't know the full truth of that. That's just something coming out of Wade's mouth. But burner phones, absolutely. What do, right? With burner phones, drug dealers use them all day long, right? Basically use, drop, and whatever they do with them, right? But definitely those things are used. So if Daniel was on maybe a different property and stuff like that, and they got some sort of setup and stuff going on, who knows exactly, maybe even on their own property. I don't know. But definitely anyone dealing in drugs, they'll use burner phones. Why? Right? Because they're less traceable than when you're using your actual cell phone. So is that truth? I don't know, because nothing that is being said seems truthful. But do I believe that Daniel does mouth? Absolutely. I 100% believe he does. Based on his own girlfriend, based on the people that were there, but based on his own girlfriend, first and foremost. That's literally telling it. So was he, let me put it this way. Everything was probably fine and dandy up until the government cut them off with money, other than that, right? They obviously don't seem to have enough money for groceries. I don't know how well, if you did have a business going on with meth and stuff like that, how well that business was doing. Because obviously they were getting groceries bought for them, at Grandma Patty, hey, Grandma Patty, can I have some money? I mean, Wade said 2 days after they would get their basically almost 2K check, and stuff like that. Do you guys, just to ask you, do you guys think that he was selling or making it?
I don't know. I think anything is possible. So much that I didn't think was possible has become possible. So it's so hard to not think that anything is possible. Um, but I do agree with what you just said. that you would think there would be more money around.
When it comes to that, you know, honestly, and Tammy, again, um, if you want to speak up on the live, and talk about something to do with, I guess, RCMP and stuff like that, again, you can let me know, and you can come up on this live and talk about something, but you'd have to email me, so I can send you a link. If that's not your cup of tea, then just email me at crimingshame@gmail.com, right? Just in the email, then just tell me what it is exactly that you want to talk about or whatever. He's not muted. Kent is not muted, Lobster. He's not muted. Go ahead, Kent. But I want to just say this. My goal with the rest of this now, I don't care what anybody else wants to do when it comes to this whole timeline. My focus is on, and unlike, I know Kent is, about this whole not confirmed thing with the, confirmed with the police, but da-da-da-da-da. Okay. So again, he's entitled to have his opinions and thoughts. I definitely, absolutely have a different opinion to that myself. I think that there is truth to exactly this neighbor who was doing drugs or had been or was or still is or whatever, that's called in. A person that doesn't want to bring attention to himself won't, right? And they won't do that, especially if they don't want people to come around and, especially if they're into that stuff. But anyways, bottom line is I believe in it. Why? Because the children did not disappear in the time that they said in the morning. So you have to go back to the nighttime, right, of the day before and into the nighttime area. Now, we heard that Daniel, by Malaya, now again, I know it's third hand party telling it to Alana and then Belinda, but hey, you know what? I believe in this as well. I don't have the receipts for this, but yeah, absolutely. Do I believe that Malaya wakes up or whatever, sees Daniel doing meth or that he's high as shit and stuff like that, and that he's up all night pretty much? Yeah. I mean, Malaya's saying that Jack takes his boots off. Like I said, what do we have in front of us? Honestly, we have two liars. Okay. We have Daniel, who can't tell a straight truth if his life depended on it. And then you have Malaya, who obviously is hiding something herself, in my opinion. So to me, that whole vehicle thing going on, yeah. When else did the children just miraculously disappear? I know Kent's going to have a different answer. And again, he can, right? But my thoughts, again, running the channel, is that my thoughts for this personally are that did happen between 12 and 5, that something happened to those children, whether it was earlier in the day and they both plotted out, or they all plotted out something about Jack and Lily and what was going to happen and all this Reiki and bullshit timeline stuff. That's where I'm at with this whole thing, is that Daniel was tweaking out high and that something happened to those children. Again, whether it was earlier. Kent, I want to ask you something. Kent, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because Darren has said this on a live as well as saying this to me in his recording. He literally came on a live and he told Belinda this as well. Okay. He basically came out with this information that Malaya and Daniel got into an argument when they were out shopping, something about money.
Yeah.
He clear cut said on a live, so it's right, on a live, that basically that fight continued on to when they got home, that basically they each were smacking each other or something like that, and that the kids got in the middle of this, and an accident could have happened. Now, where the hell, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he said a name, but I'm not going to say that name until I confirm it back with our recording. But I swear that there was a name that he said that told him that. Now, in saying that, and from the Mackenzie side, by the way. Now, for someone to come out with this information like that, as if it was knowledge, which I believe it was, or could have been, if I go back to my recording, what do you make of that? Because remember, your whole thing is, at the start, our whole thing was about that something happened to the children, you know, but I couldn't
Accidental.
accidental.
Yep.
Well, right,
And
accidental, but I
cover up.
couldn't. I right, and the cover up, and I couldn't understand why, in my heart, why one parent, if something happened to one child, why they would take another child out of the situation, right? Because in my heart, I could never imagine. I can imagine an accident happening to a child. Um, can I imagine them covering it up? You know, well, like I said, to the shady, sure, okay, but I could never imagine the second child being taken, their life taken, let's just say, because because the other one would tell, and that would ruin everything because they got meadow, right?
Well, that
So
was me. That was me that came up. That was what my belief was.
no,
And I thought it was for self-preservation of the rest of the family. And I surmised that from Daniel's first interview when he said that Jack and Lily were more than brother and sister, they were like best friends. And I said that we all know the kids say the darndest things at the darndest time. So if something happened to one, and
oh,
if it was the cover up, then that might have happened to the second because they couldn't risk down the road of them talking to somebody about Jack or Lily and the other kid just because they were so close, blurting out, well, mommy did that or daddy did that. That was my own summarization. But yes, Darren had said the initial part of that. I don't know if he said somebody, I can't remember a name that he said that told him about that. He told me about that, but I can't remember him telling us a name of who told him that.
no, that would be in my own personal recording.
That would have been in your conversations with him on the side,
Right. But
right?
I feel like he did, but I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be sitting there putting out somebody's name to attach that. Just a matter of him saying this. Um, so,
But the rest of that about the possibly the cover up and whatever, that was my own summation right from the start, is that an accident happened to one, if not both. But if it didn't happen to both, then possibly for the self-preservation of the family that was left and themselves, then could they have done that? And that's what I
okay.
had as conviction in my own mind, in my own opinion, from the start until Darren spoke, and I seen that be plausible, and then therefore hoped that that was the case.
Okay. Can't I have to stop you for a minute, please? Okay. So Tammy's saying that she wants a link to come up. Again, I have no email from Tammy for @gmail.com. So I'm not putting the link out here to the public. So again, I need an email so I can send you a live link that you can join from.
She
But
wants to give you her number to have a heart-to-heart. If you look way down, Tammy, at 11:06 p.m.
yeah, no, I seen it. But I mean, like I said, again, I'm in the
No,
middle.
but she wants to give you her number. She's
Yeah, but she doesn't,
asking you.
yeah, but she doesn't want me to call her on the live and like that.
No.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's
she
what I.
wants to talk to you person to person.
That's what I'm saying. That's what people email me for, so they can do it that way, right? That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I'm getting a stop sign that says Tammy wants a link to come up. Am I correct on that, Tammy?
I don't know. I'm not down that far yet.
Okay. All right. Anyways, go ahead, Nova, about that yourself. About
Sorry, I'm totally lost because I've been reading the chat.
no problem. No problem. Basically, bottom line was Darren came out saying that, you know, and I will say allegedly, of course, right? That Malaya and Daniel were arguing. Now, both Daniel and Malaya, I just want to say this, right? Um, have never have said that no, there was no argument that day.
Mhm.
But then again, what do we believe? Because we can't believe them. So, right, we have to take this into our own hands here.
But I
Okay.
don't believe Darren either, so
No, exactly.
it's
But
irrelevant to me because I can't believe any of them.
well, something still happened to the children.
Although I will say, um, to me, Malaya hasn't completely proven herself to be a liar yet. Um, this what the things that she has told have stayed the same, unlike Daniel. Um, so if she says there is like out of the three of them, I would believe Malaya.
Well, let's say she's inconsistent then in her timeline of events.
Well,
Right?
they've stayed the same though. She says she heard the kids
No,
between 8 and
No, the stuff that
8:30.
she said to Belinda and the stuff that she said Sonny was
yeah,
almost direct opposite.
true.
Really?
It has changed, but not only that, but again, if their timeline doesn't mesh at all, then that would be inconsistent. Meaning they between mostly Daniel. So at the end of the day, right, there's more things that, you know, obviously Malaya said, and it's been inconsistent because
Mhm.
how can you say that the children were last seen at 9:40 and they're both using that 20-minute window when they literally on scanner had told them 8 to 8:30 that they were that they were last seen. So I'm going to use inconsistent with Malaya versus Daniel is an outright liar and
Yeah.
inconsistent.
Yes.
But the biggest
And I would agree. And I mean, Malaya states that she heard the kids between 8 and 8:30. And then they say the kids have been missing since 9:40, and they're going by a timeline of when they woke up, which is ridiculous because you don't know when the kids went missing if you're supposedly sleeping. But yes, but I wouldn't call that an outright lie, or it's just a ridiculous way of coming up with a timeline that because you just woke up at this time, that's when the kids have been missing since you just woke up. Well, no, you don't know when they went missing. You last heard them between 8 and 8:30, and Daniel apparently saw Lily.
Yeah. Well,
but the
according to
biggest
Alan, go ahead. Go ahead, Ken.
the
Actually,
biggest
hold on.
reason.
One second. One sec.
Yep.
Tammy, I don't know what's going on with your typing on there, but it's like you keep putting like not finished sentences. Are you having issues with your phone or whatever it is you're using? And because I keep seeing these little words, but never complete things. So again, I can't have to, I don't have time to keep going back and forth with this. I'm trying to sit there. There's an email at crimeyshame@gmail.com. Okay. If there's something really important that you want to talk about, absolutely, Tammy, by all means. But I need you to email me so I can send you a link. Okay. I think it's something about dogs, but I keep getting these pieces of sentences. So I don't know what's going on. And I'm trying to pay attention to that. And I'm trying to pay attention to the lie. So I'm not really sure. So I don't know, Charmaine or anyone else in chat or Ben. Again, yes, use your
But,
words. Okay, so go ahead, Kent.
well, I think the big thing is with Malaya is we've only have 3 conversations with her compared to almost, if you took the number of times Daniel has either interviewed, spoke, or been in chat rooms, he's probably spoken for every day for probably 2 months out of the 3 months, if not more. And like I say, we only have the 3 conversations. from Malaya. We have her interview. We have her conversation with Belinda. A
2
few
times.
texts,
Yeah.
and
We
then
got
the conversations with Sonny.
right. So we got her interview, the 2 times that I've shown text from Belinda.
Yeah.
One was on May 2nd and May 3rd a little bit. And then the other one was towards the end of June. And then the other one would be the conversation with Malaya.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
Daniel has spoken almost every day somewhere, whether it's in chat rooms, in chat groups of YouTube channels, on other YouTube channels, or in traditional media. And that's why we have a lot more instances to prove the inconsistencies of his speech compared to Malaya.
Yeah, but if you're telling the truth, it should always stay the same no matter how many times you speak. You can say it
That's what
2 times, you can say it 3 times. It should stay the same. And I'll go
that's
back
what we're
through
saying.
I'll go back through Malaya's stuff. I don't see where her times and stuff have changed. I see where Daniel has changed it to him being the one who woke up. All those consistencies that I've seen has come from Daniel. And I more so would believe Malaya over Daniel any day. But
Well,
I'll go back over her stuff.
well, I mean, basically the bottom line with her stuff really is it's like it's not that there's these outright say lies. It's more of the inconsistency for sure of the timeline and the timing of that. Now the thing is that Malaya had a conversation with Alana, and that's where things are kind of switching up because and again, remember guys, with a grain of salt, but Alana told Belinda after talking with Malaya that she said she seen Lily once. Now Alana didn't pull that out of her butt to say that, especially since it was said she seen Lily once. So she's never said that about any time, not even to me personally. But then again, I only asked her, can you confirm that you heard Jack and Lily between 8 and 8:30, which is what she told Belinda originally? And she said yes. Never once has she mentioned anything about seeing Lily. And it was only recently when Daniel started propagating that. Now, again, I remember seeing that in one of the beginning articles. Okay. It was the only article I had ever seen it in. And I know that articles can get messed up and make it seem like both of them, when it was really one of them. Malaya has never said it herself publicly and stuff. But to Alana, according to Alana, who told Belinda that she said she saw Lily once that morning, that would be quite different than what it's been portrayed by her, who's never said once that she seen Lily only. So again, don't have receipts for that. It was on the phone,
No,
right?
that's the thing. If it
Right.
came from you
Right.
as
I
the
get it.
source or Belinda, and I have to give her the same grace that I've given Daniel, even still, that again, like it to me, it has to be very evidence based. What I've seen Daniel say himself in chats, what the information that you have gathered, or coming from you or Belinda. Outside of that, I don't really, it's allegedly, very speculating to me. And I
But
have to give her the same grace that I do give him because I do that with him as well. And he he himself has caused his own damage.
it's
Well,
like Drippy
yeah.
says there is she said that they never went outside, but yet then she tells Malaya or Belinda she never thought they'd run away or like this. Like it's just that there's less instances with Malaya of her own words to prove that what she said one time is totally different than another time. I believe you, and the likelihood of being able to believe Malaya, as you said, Nova, is probably double the amount that you would want
Right.
to believe what Daniel's saying.
Yeah, or
But
Darren,
Yeah.
Darren, or
yeah,
whatever you want to call him.
Um,
But back to the fight. So, yeah, like her and Daniel both say there was no fight. So, if
mhm.
I can't say whether there was or not.
Well, that's just it, right? Now, at the end of the day, you know, what happened. But in the reason when I'm trying to figure that out, and Thumper, by the way, we've talked about that dog multiple times. Belinda would love to know the answer about that dog. Okay, we brought it up many, many, many times.
Mm,
Tammy, obviously, like you said, you're high and you're drinking or something like that, and it's pretty clear that something's going on with these
yeah.
freaking messages. So you know what? I mean, enjoy. Cheers. Hope you're having a great high. But so other than that, just enjoy the live. All right, guys. Okay. If you need any help or whatever,
I knew something was wrong. That's why I was kind of giggling. I was paying attention to the chat and I was
yeah,
giggling a bit because I was like, what is
yeah,
going on
yeah.
with her?
So meaning the only reason in my head personally, okay, what I care about is the timeline of what happened to the children. When did it happen? Okay. This vehicle, okay, Kent, you don't have to listen to this part. This vehicle that went, 6 times between 12 to 5, right? Okay. So I firmly do believe in that myself. I've
Oh, me
asked,
too.
I've asked about it again, confirmed. So I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna take that with more than a big grain of salt. Now, in saying that, I do want to go to the poll just quickly, okay? Because 49% believe it's family vehicle, 14% friends, 26% still believe that it's an ATV.
Mm,
Let's go to that one, Nova. ATV, yes or no?
no, no.
Kent, ATV, yes or no?
as in what? What are you referring to the ATV for?
You
As
know what I'm
being the noise
referring
that the
to.
neighbor heard? No.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
As it
So,
being the vehicle involved in getting and hiding the kids?
hmm,
We don't know yet.
oh God. Okay. You know what? Mute yourself. Don't want to go back to
Maybe
that.
it's just us around here that hear ATVs all the time and are used to them because it's
Well,
part of our livelihood here that know
but
you
Yeah,
know the
you
difference.
yeah.
I don't even want to go through Kent's headache on that again. So Kent doesn't believe about the 12 to 5 timeline, meaning it's not that he doesn't believe it, but he doesn't feel like it's that it, that it's truth,
It's not
right?
confirmed is
I don't
all.
want to hear I don't want to hear about that part. I'm on me part because I already know what you're going to say about that. But listen to
That's
your
all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
But I'm saying with as far as the ATV goes,
yeah.
like the ATV isn't
I'm gonna go
the
eat some
noise that the neighbor says that he heard. There's no way in hell.
no.
But that doesn't mean that the ATV isn't involved in the way that everybody thought it was involved until you heard about this car between 12 and 6.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about hiding the kids. I'm talking about taking the kids in the woods or whatever they did with them. The ATV could be involved in that. I'm not saying that it wasn't.
I'm saying it wasn't.
And I know, and I understand that, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, everybody, that's not what I'm getting at. I'm telling you that the ATV wouldn't be confused by a local with the
No.
sound of a 5-speed
No,
car.
No.
definitely not.
That's just and that's the point. That's
Yeah.
the point, right?
Especially
Again,
a guy that knows his cars and
right.
he's working on cars. He knows his vehicles.
Yeah.
You know. Um this yeah. So this is where I'm at personally. Like I said, I'm at the point of Daniel was awake from 12 o'clock onwards in the morning.
How do we
So
know that?
from Malaya, take
Well,
it with a grain of salt.
yeah, okay. Statement was made to be that,
Right.
right?
Right. But something
He
happened to
says
his
he
children.
says he went to bed shortly after 12,
Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did.
right?
Right. Exactly. So we're doing the best estimated guesswork with the information at hand and what makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's looking at between 3:30
No,
Thursday afternoon and 10 a.m. Friday morning.
no, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean,
You narrowed it down that you're concrete between 12 and
nope.
6?
I'm not. That's what I'm telling you. I'm using my brain power here, Kent. That's what I'm doing. Okay. I don't want to. I don't. I know we're talking about 3:11 to 10:01, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, I'm using what God gave me was some brains here, and I got so much more information right in my head about like just like everyone, right? Bottom line is we still have a bit more, but I'm just saying that. And when I say I have a bit more information, yeah, I do. So there's no freaking ATV involved. Okay. There's no ATV involved on this one. But I'm just saying that all I want to know myself, right, is that basically using my brain power that these children disappeared. So does it make sense that Malaya was telling the truth? Maybe she was doing meth or something herself, but doesn't want to admit to
Mhm.
that part. Maybe she was. Who cares?
Yep.
We know Daniel does it. All right. Now they've called into the kids to school, right? We all know that probably, hypothetically, allegedly, it's bullshit that it was because of the black eye, apparently, that, we're waiting to still confirm on that, but whatever. So, bottom line is, right, they were called in sick on Thursday and then Friday, right? Daniel's the one that said about a black eye. Either he's the biggest dumbass in the world, right? But I don't believe he's telling the truth about everything. Absolutely not. But there's going to be some truth. I don't know what his reason was for telling us about another black eye, because I guess he wants us to believe. I don't know. Honestly, I can't fix that type of stupid, but I can sit there and certainly use my own brains to try to look around all this bullshit that's going on here. And so at the end of the day, right, do I believe that Daniel was up around 12 o'clock? Well, I mean, again, it was said by Malaya, said to Alana, to Belinda. Belinda said every time Alana had a conversation with Malaya that she would talk to Belinda, right? Because obviously Belinda's been fighting for answers for Jack and Lily the whole entire time. But anyways, so I'm going to put that there's some definite probably truth bombs in there, because something happened to the kids and it was during a certain time. Now, does it seem logical that they're going to go freaking hide them in the afternoon and stuff like that? No. Could something have happened to them in the afternoon to the evening? Absolutely. Could they have planned to cover up? Don't know the answer to that. All I know is, for me personally, I'm at the point where I'm from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock to 6 even in the morning till they were called into school. That's where I'm at with the case myself, right? Because I feel like, again, with all the information, that seems the most logical thing, is that it did happen during the nighttime, and that neighbor is very accurate. I do not think at all that Lindsay would have put that in the article if there wasn't substance to it, right? And then I even went back and said, Lindsay, is this legit? Is this neighbor legit, right? And just like the Globe and Mail says, they spoke to him, right? We don't know when. I didn't ask her when. I just know that I'm taking the information that was given as, yes, this neighbor is legit. And that's where I'm at personally. If you're at someplace different, that's fine. If Nova's at someplace different, that's fine. But that's where
Yeah.
I'm at with it.
And
I'm
that's what
pre-
I asked. I asked you if you were convinced that it's between 12 and 6. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know enough true information from
I get
the
that.
time they get home Thursday afternoon till the time they were reported missing. I think I could use my head a lot if I had the 911 call. If I had the actual and recording of a 911 call, I would like to think that I'd be able to read Malaya's voice and tone and
Sure.
whatnot. And I would like to say that I could probably narrow that timeline.
Well, I mean,
Good night, Belinda. Lots of love.
so at the end of the day, though, who's going to sit there and provide you all that proof? So,
What, of the 911 call?
well, you're not going to
Nobody.
get that. You're not going to get that. But I just mean,
Not in Canada.
out of anything to do with between 311, well, we can't even say 311, right? They were caught on camera in the place. Does that mean that they arrived home for sure? We don't know that for sure, right? We
No,
don't.
we've been told 3:30, but
Well, we know. Well, you keep saying 3:30, but it was 3:11.
Yeah.
That's what time their thing said that they were arrived back home. But I'm saying is so yeah, clearly we don't know if those children made it back home, but chances are that they did. Let's just say chances are that they did make it back home after going on their adventures on stuff like
yeah,
that.
I don't think whatever happened would have happened out in a public situation. So
Mhm.
the home is secluded enough that if something happened, that's where it happened.
Right. But the
Right.
thing is that we're not getting the truth from the
Nope.
two people or a third person even that are on the property. So that leaves that whole space wide open. Now, for me, I've completely, to me, have cabolished their morning timeline with their own words. It doesn't make sense. There's too many inconsistencies and too many lies about it. They can say it all they want, but how many inconsistencies can you really put in a 20-minute span that they're trying to claim, considering it started at 8? So their whole stuff makes sense. Obviously, there's again more than meets the eye, right, Daniel? More than meets the eye. But again, the only thing that we can do out of this whole entire timeline is try to build it ourselves by using our common sense, things that don't make sense out of their BS, and build from there. So that's where I'm at. So do I believe again that this car happened in the morning time and it matches what Malaya had said to Alana about Daniel being up all night? She could have been up all night too. We don't know. I think she probably was too. I can't see, meaning if I'm going to think about the car, definitely someone's not sleeping through 3 round trips, 6 times a vehicle going back and forth in that freaking trailer there. That's not happening. That Malay is going to be passed out in some deep sleep unless she's, on some sort of rugs herself or something like that. Highly, I don't know about that. But anyways, so that's bottom line where it is. There's no one that's going to sit there and give you this big firm timeline for us because none of them are speaking out, or what they do say, you don't even know what to believe. So you just got to rely on your own,
Well, I hope we'll be able to make some sense of a timeline when the RCMP conclude the case.
Well, at that point, yeah, but at the end of the day, again, right? People aren't going to stop speculating.
No, and they're not going to come out and tell us, well, this happened at 11 o'clock and this happened at 2 o'clock. That's not what it'll be. It'll be the result of whatever happens with the investigation. And they'll say, okay, this is what we believe to have happened. And we made this arrest. And that's all we can say at the moment because it's an ongoing investigation and we're going to court. And we can't comment on pending cases. And then we might find out a little bit more of a time frame when they go to court because they'll be under oath and have to testify. And then we might get the sequence of events.
Mhm.
But until then, it just seems like nobody wants to speak the truth.
And I'm pretty much where you are, Sonny. And also the fact that Daniel recently added to his story that he turned the kids' light on at 12
Yeah,
o'clock or there or so, a bit after.
yeah.
Yeah. And now, and then we find out,
So he is awake at 12, according to Daniel.
yeah, and the kids' light happens to be on. And then this article comes out with the neighbor saying he started hearing the noises around 12
Mhm.
o'clock.
Mhm.
Yeah, bit of a coincidence.
Well, like I said,
But
go ahead, Ken.
Nova.
Yeah.
if it was Daniel turning the light on at 12 o'clock, then obviously it couldn't be Daniel driving the car at 12 o'clock. Because he would
Well,
have had, because there was no car on the dooryard, he would have had to go to Earl's to get that car.
well, I don't think everything happened exactly at 12 o'clock.
No, but
Right.
I'm saying starting, like,
Because he said between 12 and 5. He
yeah,
heard
and he went to bed shortly after 12 is what he stated.
it, right, and that he turned the light on before
Yeah.
he went to bed. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys. Tammy said she's high and drinking. That's what she clearly said. Leave Tammy alone.
No, she didn't say that.
did
Somebody
too.
below her said that, Sonny.
No, she said it herself.
No, it was somebody else.
Okay.
I read the comment.
I'm going to go find it. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it, but I don't think I am. Tammy, you said, yeah, she totally did. Because it was slurred. And I
It was
just,
slurred.
How can you tell it was slurred when she
I'm
typing?
high and drunk.
because high and I can tell. Right, Tammy? Tammy, just tell them you're high and drunk. Just go tell them that you said it, because I know
The
you did.
comment, she said that she knows that cadaver dogs were used.
I'm talking
I read that in the comment.
Yeah, well, you just go ahead and here. There you go. Perfect example. Part of the word slur right
Yeah, yeah.
there. She literally said it. I had the comment up on the screen. But go ahead. Okay. So I get at the moment, to me, we're just kind of at this crossing point. To me, maybe not to Kent, but talking about to me, where I just really want to know what happened to Jack and Lily. Again, just taking all the information, making sense of it, seeing what seems logical, seeing what doesn't. I mean, don't you think that the cops do that too? They take all the information and then they sit there and they go down different avenues to see where the truth lies. Obviously, they haven't come across that yet at this point that we know of, because there's no one's been arrested and the case hasn't been solved for that. So, oh, see, there you go again. Slush. Or did Tammy just admit that she was? Because I'm going to find that, Kent. Maybe I passed it already. I could have
You
passed it.
did, because it was like 11:26 or whatever.
Oh, I think this is when she made a typo and called me a hoe. Sunny hoe. Hose. Yeah. Oh, wait, Sunny. See? You telling me?
But
Someone's
if you scroll all the way down, she says no now
See?
at 11:56.
Who?
Tammy says no now.
Tammy.
Whatever no now means.
Oh, see,
Well,
there you go.
nothing.
Kent, did you see, Sonny? Did you see? I'm high, drinking. Okay, Kent, she's high.
But she never said that she's high or drunk. She said, "Did you
Did you
see?"
see I'm high? Well, no, I don't see you, but I can bet you your bottom dollar you're both. Absolutely. And I'm just gonna correct your typos. High drinking.
She might be using speak to text.
Yeah, that many times that badly. Come on. We all know that Tammy's on her own little planet right now. Come on now. She's denying. See? Yeah. Right, Tammy. All right. Well, thank you for the laughs. At least I hope you don't fall out of that bed or chair, whatever you're in, as you're doing both. Okay. So, I mean, again, what do I want to even say anymore? Oh, do you guys want me to play Logan's clip? I can. Do you guys
Go
want to
for
hear
it.
it again?
Well, I'm
You don't
getting out of here because I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
It's 12 o'clock here now, so.
Okay.
And I got a busy day tomorrow, so I would just like to say, thanks to the people that have emailed and sent money along for signs.
Yeah.
Corbett81@gmail.com. Yeah. And we'll, I would say by the end of next week, between the ones that people have bought that we can just put out in general and the ones that people are taking for the properties, we'll probably have to put in another order for another 50. And like I say, if you're interested in one, $20 each for the little ones. If you want to make a donation that we can help and get a couple more big ones, you got the email, contact me there or private message on Facebook. And tomorrow, anybody that's in Pictou County will possibly see you at the parade in Thorburn for the East Pictou Rural Fair.
Okie dokie. Thanks, Kent.
You got that? I'm going to East Pictou, Sonny.
East Pictou?
I'm going to East Pictou tomorrow, yeah.
You can have fish and chips in East Pictou?
No, I'll get that when I get back home. But all right, night, folks.
Good night, Kent.
You know, I do want to say this. I do want to say this. I wish people would stop speaking for other people in chat. Kind of like, again, you're culpable of your own behavior. How do you know that Tammy has any drug issues or alcohol issues or going on? All right. But when people act like they know because somebody might be having a nice night and they just want to have a good drink and stuff like that. But I really do hate it when other people speak for other people that have actually no clue. Tammy wants to leave some freaking CBJs, W's and stuff like that. Let her. Who is anyone like myself even to know? Tammy said she was, did you see me high? And DD, okay? But I'm just saying, I think I got it ready. I'm just saying, who is somebody else to read a lot more into that and sit there and say, don't, leave Tammy alone. No, Tammy's an adult. Tammy can do what she wants. Right, Tammy?
I'll be right back, Sonny.
Yeah, no problem. I'll find Logan's thing. But I'm just saying, right? I don't like anyone telling me what to say or do. So please don't tell others what to say or do. Okay? It's not your place. It's not, well, it is my place if they're in this channel and they're being jerk-offs, but you are so welcome for collecting on there. Okay. Amen. Thank you. Give me an amen. Again, keep it lighthearted, people. Okay? There's already enough drama and shit going on out there. Okay, now I'm going to find Logan's. You guys want to listen to that? You guys want to listen to that? Video file. Okay, well, whoever doesn't want to listen to it, have a great night. It's been a while since we heard it, have we not? Okay, hold on. Let me type in the word. Logan. Logan. Must be this one. Let's see here. Open.
Ever hey, I just find it so odd. You would think, did any of them ever make the statement that they wanted to look for the children, or did she make a fuss saying I don't want to leave until I find my kids?
No.
Or... Really?
No. So that's what I stated as well. Because when I got there, I said, do you want me to stay with the baby? You can go look. She goes, I'm going to stay with the baby. Okay. Said whatever. So I went looking. So that was the next thing, was when she was told that the baby had to leave the residence. She's exactly told she did not have to leave the residence. They just wanted the baby off the residence, from away from the residence. That's this whole scenario isn't something a kid should be a part of. So the baby was going to come to my house. So she's never been apart from the baby. Never. She's meadow. So I said, you're more than welcome to come too. If not, I am comfortable. I have 3 kids of my own. Like Malaya, I can take care of this kid. I can take care of the baby, no problem. So first the baby, it was just going to be the baby, and then she decided she was going to come with me. So, but then something changed, and we were at the briefing. Her mother said something to her, and then I had to take everything out of my car and put it in her mother's car. And like I said, she had this whole plan, like she was going to drive her car into my house.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to, and then the plan changed. Oh, I'm going to take the car to my mother's. Like, I'm going with my mother. Well, she didn't even come back for the car. Like, the search and rescue had her car towed to wherever she was because they left the car. That's how much of a hurry that was to leave. Malaya stayed at they stayed at the residence Friday night.
And just out of curiosity, because I think you said something and I wasn't quite sure I understood. When did Malaya's mother arrive at the house?
So she arrived Friday. She was there before I got there on Friday when they went missing. I'm not sure the exact time. We all tried to figure that out. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did Malaya's mother stay overnight there?
I am unsure, but she was there in the morning when I got back. When I came back, so she could have stayed the night. I am, like I said, I am unsure because I didn't stay at the residence that night. I went home. And Daniel did pass the lie detector test.
So what was Daniel's relationship like with Malaya's mom?
From what I understand, Malaya's relationship with her mother was never great. She didn't want to live with her mother. So Daniel's poison is, from what I understand, poison. Like he always said, and he said this in his interviews over and over again, is every time Malaya got ahead in life, her mother pulled her back. So we'll just go with that.
I just find it strange how the grandmother would convince her daughter to leave
the residence
instead of staying with her to look for these babies.
That woman has never shed a tear the whole time she was there. My dad even stated that. He goes, I cried. Like my father cried and cried and cried. This is a 55-year-old man. And he cried for those children. And that grandmother didn't shed a tear.
Now, I know you can't speak on Daniel's behalf, but what does he really truly believe happened to these kids?
That's something that he has stated all along, that it's something that has to come from him. He believes they were, I think he believes that they were picked up by now, like that they were abducted, because there's no sign of them in the woods. He doesn't.
So when Logan's saying that, it's clear as day she's not wanting to say what Daniel said. She's stumbling over her words. Again, Charmaine's conversation with Daniel. He believes that Cindy, at this point in time, had something to do with getting picked up. So basically everything, for that a lot, Logan's listening to stuff that Daniel said, but obviously Logan was there as well during the whole altercation and stuff like that. What do you, just quickly, Nova, on this part? I mean, she's obviously certain things you can tell where she stumbles over. She's avoiding saying what the actual thing was, which was that Cindy somehow morphed there a few minutes after the RCMP was his first story.
Oh yeah, she's definitely being careful with her words and watching what she's saying for sure.
Yeah. And then she does this a few times, you know, throughout it. But you guys, so this is really about, this is where Daniel said that Cindy arrived a few minutes after the RCMP did. But then again, we have that, what do we want to call it? Screenshot. And then, okay, the screenshot is basically Malaya talking to her mom around the, I think it was 11:30 mark, 11:33 mark, or something like that. And then Janie, I remember after talking in the PM chat, she's like, wait a sec, you guys, I just had an idea. No, probably from your son, actually, Janie. I just had an idea. What if Cindy was around the corner when she was texting Malaya? Again, that was, you know, obviously hindsight tells you that all of a sudden this brainiac decides, now it's probably Daniel going, hey, Mom, you forgot to say this, you know? Or what, you know? But anyway, I'll play more.
Doesn't believe they're in the woods.
Mm-hmm. So he really doesn't believe that Mom had anything to do with it.
That's something I don't know because, like, you know, you always have your line of doubt, right? Like, you always have your theories and you're saying, so I can't speak on his behalf on that. Like,
Yeah, I understand. It's just, I just know that they both used each other as an alibi and in the morning in regards to the situation.
Absolutely. And no, I don't believe he believed or believes that Malaya had anything to do with the children missing.
A question that I have is, did Malaya have, or do you know, if Malaya had her own cell phone?
Yes, she has her own cell phone. I've called her on it.
Okay. And Daniel has his own cell phone?
Absolutely, but they're a very open couple.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I was just curious.
I see that. Did you think Malaya met somebody else type deal?
Oh, no, that's not where I was going with this. No. No, I was actually thinking back to when Dan.
Can we just LOL on that one?
Yes, it's so irritating, right? Because it just must be that. I mean, it must be that you thought Malaya was cheating on Daniel, you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, but that's because
we shit on her all the time for everything. So,
I mean, but that's because Malaya got a text on the 3rd, that said on the 3rd that said that Daniel was cheating on her.
yes. So, you know.
So I'm kind of like laughing there because Susan's going like, well, I mean, I know I wasn't actually going that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, but we are, you know, we are.
All right.
And what did she say just before that too? That was that they're an open couple.
Oh yeah.
It was another thing that signaled the abuse thing to me. Her
Right.
saying that. Yeah.
Right. Actually, I'll play that little part again. Hold on.
In other words, Daniel controls her phone all the time. Yeah, but we call that in my family. We call that an open couple, meaning, you know.
Right. I'll play that little part again. Hold on.
No, I don't believe he believed or believes that Malaya had anything to do with the children missing.
A question that I have is, did Malaya have, or do you know?
Wait, actually, I want to touch that one quickly before it comes to the other one. So Daniel doesn't believe, right? Now, this is Daniel.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't believe that Malaya had any part of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it just magically morphed into a scenario where Cindy, you know, Malaya had nothing to do with. He's saying Malaya had nothing to do with it, and yet they're talking about Malaya just standing there, you know, putting the kids into a vehicle.
Yeah,
you know, and that's Cindy drove, I guess, up a couple minutes into that 20-minute time window, and her dog didn't bark or she didn't hear it. I guess.
And you know that Logan knows all that. You know that because it's the talk of the family.
Yeah. Well, it's not about if Malaya is gonna believe it. She probably might, but it's a matter of that she did receive one. But again, she wanted out of this relationship prior to this, guys. But anyways, okay, let's go on to your part.
If Malaya had her own cell phone?
Yes, she has her own cell phone. I've called her on it.
Okay. And Daniel has his own cell phone?
Absolutely, but they're a very open couple.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I was just curious.
I see that. Did you think Malaya met somebody else type deal?
Oh, no, that's not where I was going with this. No. No, I was actually thinking back to when Daniel had said that he had gone out looking for the children and that the police, he had offered up his phone to the police to check the GPS and, you know, all that sort of thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, they do have separate cell phones.
Okay. All right.
And the cops even gave Daniel a cell phone while they took Daniel's cell phone, so.
So, you know.
Oh my god. So what do you think about that?
She just irritates me so bad. And the cops even took his cell phone.
I gave
So,
him another cell phone.
yeah. So, you know.
Oh my God, to that
Oh,
one. Here, Daniel, let me just look at this cell phone. Incriminate yourself on this phone that we're giving you with the tracker and everything on it till we can give you your.
so there you go, Susan.
I mean, come on. Like, seriously. But you know what? I mean, in him, he's not thinking that. He's just like, oh, great, thanks, right?
Oh, they love me so much. And look, it's an Apple phone.
I mean, like, honestly, as time has turned and what we see Daniel has been doing and stuff like that, in
Mhm.
hindsight, some of the stuff is even funnier in a sense when it
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to the stuff that Daniel was like, here, you sucker, take that
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
But to make no mistake about it, right? In all this ridiculousness, it's still always about Jack and Lily, bottom line, right? And
Yeah.
but we're just playing the stuff that the family's saying, right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah,
Right.
no.
Okay.
I don't know, like I said, like whatever she has offered up or whatever she has done, if she had a lie detector test or whatever she has done, I can't speak on her behalf anymore because I haven't seen her since literally that Saturday, but I haven't spoken to her since that Sunday.
So did it come as a shock to Daniel that she actually up and left him?
Yes, 100%. Like because one moment there was an altercation at the end of the driveway, which was me and one of.
Okay, just quickly, we're gonna break this down. Did it come as a shock to Daniel that Malaya just up and left him? I mean,
Yeah.
how many times did she try calling her mama as you pinned her down on the floor
Yeah.
to leave your ass?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what
And
do you
they've got a
mean?
U-Haul rented and everything.
Right?
Would it have shocked him if she had left him after she had the baby when she found out the night before he was on the methany again? Like, my God.
I mean, you have to remember, guys, this is Daniel's cousin Logan, right? I mean, obviously she's gonna try to believe in her cousin and stuff like that, stick up for him, which she clearly is doing here, right? But anyways, no shocker at all. I don't think, Daniel. Maybe you were shocked at that moment because you were like, wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Malaya's family members screaming at each other, and the cops were called down. So when the cops came down, they took Malaya aside. They took my mother aside because my mother said she was part of the altercation, which she was. I was as well, and my aunt. We all got spoken to by the police. Malaya literally told the police officer right then and there, like, this is the happiest I've ever been. I feel the safest when I'm with here. Like, even when she left, Officer Mason was dead shocked, as was Daniel, that she actually left. Because she told the officer that it was the safest she's ever been.
Let's talk about that part. What's your vibe on that part?
That she told the officer she was the safest
Yeah, and
I
then
think a lot of what's being said, once I caught on to Daniel, a lot of what is repeated is the crap that Daniel is. Oh, sorry, were you?
No, I was just saying thank you to Christine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, either it's the crap that Daniel feeds them, like, oh my God, Logan. The cops even said they were shocked. Or she's just the whole clan of them are just
Now, so in saying that, again, obviously Malaya was not truthfully the happiest she's ever been, because obviously there's those texts to Belinda that says otherwise, and there's the information that she said to me, right?
Yeah.
Now, again, you know what? We're not in her shoes of what she was exactly thinking, but to me, obviously Malaya, blame to me. This is how I feel about this: is that obviously Malaya wanted out of there. She to me, I feel like she was blaming Daniel about whatever happened to Jack and Lily, even if she knows about it, that she's blaming him for the reason. That's how I felt, and she just wanted to lickety split and get out of there. But then the actions after that, to me, is what I have an issue with, right? Remember, she went on Facebook, she took down all his pictures, added a few friends, brought it back up, stuff like that. That was weird in itself. But again, do I blame her if she felt like Daniel had something to do with it? And this is allegedly. Do I blame her for wanting to get the F out of that property, even though obviously she stayed a night, but I think other people did too that night of May 2nd. Remember? I think some aunties were there and stuff like that on the night of, but because Malaya left on the 3rd, right? Patty didn't want to leave. Again, this altercation. Now, this is where, Haley comes in and, does her live with Hidden in the Fog Susan there. And she's like, hey, what they're not telling you is that this is what the altercation was about, which was about the, math and whatever. And what struck me as funny too is that Janie, I'm pretty sure if I go back to listening to her, Janie was like, I wasn't even paying attention to that, what was going on and stuff like that. Bullshit. It's you covering up for your son again and making his shit shine because she didn't want to bring that up, right? She didn't want to tell what the actual altercation was about, but she acted like I was oblivious to it. Didn't know what was going on. I just know, and it's just like, well, here we go again. Freaking liars, hide, not telling the truth. And they're basically trying to protect their child, of course, because they don't want to be talking about the drug situation. Yeah. Can we hit play again?
I'm just still holding hope that behind the scenes, there's a different scenario going on with Malaya and the RCMP.
Right.
I'm holding on to that. And
I know.
And what was the other thing I was going to say?
I know.
I can't remember. My
It's okay.
brain.
I know. And and I know it's getting late for you. We'll play this clip out and then we'll, say goodnight, I guess, on this one.
Yeah, once we're done of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way past my bedtime.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's 8:20 here. Where we're halfway through this, there's I think 6:57 we're at. So another 6.5 minutes here.
So
Was that before or after her mother got there?
That was before her mother got to her.
And I just want to clarify when you're saying that she was saying that this is the safest she's ever felt.
I know what it was.
Meaning
honey.
in your company and your family.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really curious as to what took place at the command center when they had the briefing. Because she was in that briefing and left midway through. Like what what broke her, right?
Yeah. Correction to that. She actually didn't leave partway through. She left at the end.
She left at the end. Okay.
Yeah. Correction to that. Mm-hmm. It's just that whenever there's corrections to be made, just so that, the actual information is out there. But so correction to that, it was at the end.
Okay. Because it was always said that she left during the but if you know different, then yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. What was your point to that again?
Oh, I was just going to say, I would like to, not know, it's not like it's my business, but just that it seems that something during that broke her. You know, she had to leave there and go to the ambulance in a panic attack. And
Oh, I bet she was. You know,
yeah,
bet she was definitely having an anxiety attack either way, right?
yeah.
On there.
This company.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So, to know that he got home to go contact her, that he was blocked and deleted, was a complete and utter shock.
How old is Malaya?
Malaya is 27, I believe.
And Daniel's 30.
32, I believe.
32, okay.
Okay. I just want to mention something. There's 211 people in the room.
Jesus.
Could we get people to tap, please, and just boost the channel? It really, really, really helps the channel a lot. So if you're sitting here watching and you're enjoying the content, please support the channel.
Yeah, what she said. Please support the channel. Hit the like in the share, people. Thank you.
And like for her to leave, like to me, I don't know, when I hear that, like her leaving and doing all that deleting and like just the way all that took place, like I feel like for me, if that was me feeling those feelings and to the point of doing that, it'd be like that complete disgust that you feel towards somebody that you
Yeah.
just can't even stand any type of connection to them at all, right down to them being on your Facebook.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get from that,
Well,
but I might be wrong.
no. You're not. To me, you're not getting that wrong at all. Right? Is that again? This is where, in my head, I personally believe, regardless of her knowledge, and I believe that she does have the knowledge, is that she still blames Daniel
Yeah.
for what happened to the children, in my opinion. And the signs back that up with her not being able to look at him
Yeah.
and her going home and deleting all of his pictures and putting up only pictures of her kids is what she did. And then she took it back down, back up and down a few times there. But anyways, at the end of the day, yeah, she, to me, at this point, she's just over Daniel. Like,
Yeah, like
fuck you,
complete
Daniel.
disgust. Yeah.
You controlling SOB type of thing.
Yeah, it's like the light bulb went
Yeah.
on, like, yeah.
So those things to me jive with each other. Those actions of somebody that we already know wanted to leave that situation. And in hindsight, we can take her information that she has said about that he was controlling, that he, picked on Jack and sometimes Lily type of thing. That a lot of the stuff, right, again, is from her own words about that Daniel wouldn't let people or have friends besides one because they were a bad influence. All signs of a controlling person. Now, again, Malaya, she obviously was not living no best life. She's obviously hopping from relationship to relationship in these relationships that are no good for her at all, right? But she keeps finding herself in these relationships. Now we're at a point where she's in a relationship, with someone that does say meth, that she says that does. And she's living a really probably shitty lifestyle. Anyone living in that clumpity clump of a mess and a disaster of a home inside and out is not living their best life when you have 3 children that can barely be fed or wear the clothes to school and stuff like that. I'm sure she was not in this happy place at all. And then another child, right? I mean, having Meadow. But the thing is that she left herself in this situation. And again, her opportunity to, I guess, leave and whatever was said, I think to her mother, was, like to me, like, get your shit, I don't know. But it was Cheryl, Malaya's friend, that said, what the fuck is going on? Right? What the fuck is going on? Start talking type of thing. And that's when she said herself too as well, on top of Malaya saying it and Wade, and is that Daniel was doing meth for the last.
It was their stepsister, wasn't it?
Haley, yes. What did I say?
Cheryl.
Oh, no, hold on. No. Cheryl is the one that said that. Haley's the one that spoke about the drugs in the bathroom, like when they were in the bathroom, and about that, right? She said that that's what the altercation was about. But it was Cheryl that said to her about the, what the fuck is going on type of idea. Or was it Haley? Shit.
It was Haley.
Was it
Yeah,
Haley?
it was all the same story, yeah. It
Damn.
started with the whole bathroom thing, and then,
And the altercation.
after she left that briefing and she was crying and stuff,
Shit.
she said to her, "What the fuck's going on here?" And
Yeah, I think you're right on that, because I'm getting it mixed up a little bit, because it's kind of like them talking in a sense about the same thing somewhat.
yeah,
No,
well, their
Cheryl
stuff
was more
blends
about the blind.
together with me too because they come out
Yeah.
around the same time.
Yeah, you're right. Haley said it. Yeah, because I also in my mind, again, so much information,
Yeah.
sometimes it gets mushed up. But you're right. Haley is the one that told Malaya, like, what the fuck is going on? And that's when she said about the meth and whatever. And basically, like, you know what? You need to, like, leave the situation, right? And
Yeah.
go to your mom's where you got a roof over your head or something like that, she said. Stuff like that. So, yeah. And Malaya, again, right? At this point, 2 children gone. She
Mhm.
probably knows exactly what happened, If not, she's definitely thinking she knows,
Oh, yeah.
right? Regardless.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
either way, it's like if you give that look of disgust and then you back it up by going and removing all the pictures of Daniel, because she doesn't want you anymore. Okay? The signs are there, all of them. Just like your controlling signs are showing through her own texts. They're there.
I just wish she had been able to get out of there with the kids, because it's almost like when someone with an addiction is trying to beat the addiction and they have to keep trying and trying and trying, and then finally, it happens. And it's
Yeah.
the same when you're trying to leave that abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And it's the push pull and the push pull and the
Absolutely.
whole cycle of it. And then eventually
Mm-hmm.
there's that day where
There's that day.
you just end up finally being able to break away, whatever way it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't happen quick enough, you know?
Well,
That's
that's
so
just
sad.
absolutely. I mean, have you had that day? I've had that day
Yep.
where I was
Yep.
just tired of it.
And it's
And
that
that's
disgust
okay.
feeling that you feel that you just
Mhm.
can't even look at that person anymore without
No.
disgust.
No. And yeah, and so the thing is that from a DV point of view, okay, and like I said, I would never make excuses for what the position that I put myself in, and I wouldn't expect Malaya to either, because she's accountable for all of her actions.
Yep.
Nobody else was in control. You're in
Yep.
control of your own actions and thoughts. That's it. Okay.
Yep.
Other than that, you have no control over anyone's actions or anything else. So at the end of the day with that, right, is that correct? So I can empathize the fact of me myself staying in an abusive relationship. I mean, he was a weed smoker, and it really did impact a lot of our life in a lot of ways and stuff like that, because it just got old and it just got tiring, and I just got tired of being abused, and I got tired of being controlled. As much as I put up a fight, the more I put up a fight, the worse it got. But I mean, we clearly have heard Malaya say to us, me, in those text messages, that every time she tried to leave or call her mother because she wanted to leave, Daniel would hold her down and grab her phone. And we all know that this shit happens. It happened to me. Dion would hit me, and then I go in the room crying because how could you do that? And each time he'd come back in, say he was sorry, and start sucking up. And each time I'm just like, but and I would do the same thing repetitively.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this situation, there's children involved. In my situation of that with Dion, there was no children involved, right? Thankfully. And that's just it, is that I didn't even want a hope in hell of chance of getting pregnant. type of idea at all with that man. And once I was like ready to leave, because he was like, do you just want to have sex? No, you disgusting creature. No.
Exactly.
But so I can empathize with that part, that she's made bad choices, that she's put herself in a predicament that now we lie with 2 children that are missing and another child that's with CPS, right? All because of her own choices, her choices,
Yep.
right? Belinda could have had Belinda come see the kids if she wanted to.
Yep.
But
She definitely had outs.
Yeah, she had absolutely outs. But the thing is that it's only when something happens, then you're like, what the fuck just happened to my life? I bet you internally right now, she's like, what the fuck is going on here with my life? I can guarantee you, right?
And especially if she was doing rugs too, because then you have to come up down off of that and come back to reality. And look what you have to face.
Absolutely. And so so from that side of it, I get it. People that don't understand that, well, sorry, if you've never been in that position, I do. But that's no excuse what kind of happened afterwards, unless, like you said, there's something more to this than meets the eye that we don't know about, right? Could be. Okay, let me play a little bit more.
Yes, tap away.
Oh, and I described Daniel and Malaya's relationship great, to be totally honest. Like, for every time I've been around and been there, they've completely got along. So I don't know. Every relationship has issues, but I've never. I described their relationship as great. Like, they became very close. They had a child together. He raises their kids. She helped raise his other kid. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't see any issues.
And has Daniel had the opportunity, since this has happened, to visit Meadow?
No.
So who's preventing him from? Is it Malaya that's preventing him from doing that?
From what I understand, it's Children's Aid.
Sorry, from what you understand, it's who?
Children's Aid.
Why would Children's Aid withhold access to his child?
I'm not sure. And this is the type of situation that I've never been in.
So again, this is where she fumbles again, talking about this. She kind of has to, mumble and stumble about this, because she does know exactly why Daniel can't see baby Meadow. And she's acting like, well, I'm not sure. No, she is sure, but she's not willing to share it. So instead, she just kind of mumbles over her words and acts like she doesn't know, but she does, right?
Yep.
Like, he even, I mean...
And he has proved himself over and over again. So, an CPS issue with this is kind of not my spot to say. So what goes on there? But no, from what I understand, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about it, is I believe it is CPS that is doing this right now.
So is it Malaya, or is it Malaya's mom that has access to the little one right now?
The baby, Meadow, is in custody of her mother. Like, okay. Malaya has custody of Meadow at the moment.
I don't understand why they wouldn't allow Daniel access.
I don't understand why, if this is a case.
Malaya has the baby.
Exactly.
Unless she made allegations of domestic abuse. But even then, it would have to go to family court, and he should be allowed, at minimal right now, supervised access with
absolutely, and we've been going through all that. But as of right now, we're working on that. So that's something I don't really want to discuss, is like his doings with the children at the moment.
Right. And that's fair enough.
And I don't believe she's met anybody else. Like I said, she said she felt the safest in everything there. So everybody's saying that maybe she met somebody new. I don't believe that. Her and Daniel were great. So I can't.
So just your gut instinct. What do you think? If you're not comfortable, that's fine. I mean, what is your gut instinct? What's going on with Malaya? Why is she doing all of this?
I believe her mother's kind of manipulative. From what I've seen of her,
Why would the mom want to do this?
I don't know. But from what I've met of the mother, I've been Daniel and her have been together 3 years. This is the first time I have ever met the mother. And like I said, and you know when you get vibes from people, you know. You just, even when I was putting my phone number in Malaya's phone for her, when she was leaving, her mother seemed like I was doing something wrong. Like she was like, "What are you doing with Malaya's phone? Like, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm giving her my number so she has me to call. Like I'm a safe place." Like you, right. Why are you being so nosy on what I'm doing to your daughter's phone? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why? But when I did try to call Malaya afterwards, like on that Sunday, to check on Meadow and to check on her, she answered. And as soon as she answered, what I got was, I said, "How is Meadow?" She goes, "Meadow is fine." And then I hear in the background, "Who are you talking to? Hang that phone up."
So she's very toxic. Yeah.
Yes. So then when I called back the next time, because I'm very persistent, I'm going to call the next day, my number was blocked. So, you know, little trick on your phone, if you're blocked, you can private your number and it will still go through.
Okay, we'll quickly stop there. So I'm not having an issue.
Just 1 second. Sandra Chisholm, I don't know what you're talking about. Remains being found in Kamloops. You directed that at me. I didn't say anything about remains being found in Kamloops. Sonny and I are talking about Lily and Jack Sullivan. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. So with this one here, as for Logan, okay, so as for Cindy doing what she did, well, again, there's been an altercation that happened. Basically, obviously, Malaya spits out to Haley about the, meth or whatever like that, right? And Logan's trying to call, and Cindy's basically, I don't see a problem with that as a mother going, you know what? Basically, get away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from us. I don't really see a problem with that at all, to be honest with you. It's not like Malaya, I don't see Cindy, who's a nurse, by the way. And I'm sorry, but nurses, teachers, veterinarians, usually those are very kind-hearted people. Okay. Now, in saying that, we've only heard from Daniel can you imagine Cindy not liking Daniel, the shock of the horror of it all? Right? No one's basically heard from Malaya in pretty much 2 years' time. Right? And obviously, Cindy, honestly, who's gonna want to really go to that hellhole? They'd probably be like, "Come on, bring the kids over here," on there. But anyways, I don't see an issue with that. And this is where the whole
I don't
thing
either. I'd do the same thing.
Absolutely. Like I said, there's been an altercation. Obviously, Malaya, that's a clear sign right there, right? That Cheryl said it about 2 years. She hadn't seen her till May 2nd, right? And Belinda has talked about it. Not, that ever since she met Daniel, this thing, Malaya said in her own messages that Daniel said that her friends were a bad influence on her. I think you got that one wrong, hey, Daniel? And she was only talking to one person, she said. Who that person is, I'm not really sure.
And barely, she said.
And what?
Barely.
And barely.
Yeah,
and barely. Right?
Yeah.
So,
and in my experience, I can guarantee you that one friend probably didn't live around here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've watched this again happen in my own personal experience where, I never said anything about all the abuse and stuff going on because it's kind of like I was kept protecting Dion, right? When it came to that. I didn't want to tell people about my problems. Even as much as I was hurting on the inside, nobody ever knew it. Nobody ever knew that this was going on besides maybe 2 times in an 11-year relationship. My mom, to her dying day, still couldn't understand how she had no clue that I had never told her about the abusive relationship. This stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
They try to. Right. And not only that, but they try to disassociate you. My ex-husband did this with our son, actually. anytime my twin sister was brought up, this is once we moved to Whitecourt, my twin sister was brought up, my mom was brought up, the ex-husband at the time would go, oh, Matthew, you don't need them. They're just a bunch of losers anyway, right? And just little by little, it was just kind of like, it was always about my family, never about his, right? Family. It was always about that my family was a bunch of losers, and that his grandma, my mom, didn't care about Matthew. She had her favorites and stuff like that. But I mean, I watched this stuff happen, right? And again, you could be in the total midst of it yourself. And again, it's not that it was right, but again, we make sometimes really bad choices and we do things. But in this case, there's 2 missing children going on here, right? And that's the bottom line of this whole thing, is that regardless of the relationship with Daniel and Malaya, which is part of looking at the whole picture, obviously, right? I mean, it is part of it. What happened? What was going on in their lifestyle that 2 children went missing underneath their care? What was going on, right? How did these children get failed, perhaps by the system, be prior to this and stuff like that? How does Wade and Cindy talk about, the stuff about Malaya and stuff like that? Well, I know that they made a couple of comments and stuff like that, but if you know some weird shit's going on with your kid and they're barely talking to you after they met this person, I mean, it's kind of sometimes hard to meddle in their lives because they're adults. And if they don't want to talk to you or come see you, you can't force them to, But I think in this case, Cindy had every right to grab Malaya's phone and be like, nope, we're not dealing with these, people
Oh,
anymore.
yeah. I mean, I chuckled because I was thinking, yeah, Cindy's not into the open relationship with the telephones.
Joe's being a smart
The
ass.
telephone open relationship. It's called control of your phone.
Right. All right. We'll play out the last little bit.
True. So I did call, but I didn't say anything because I wanted to see who would answer the phone. Her mother answered the phone, and she went Malaya's phone, so I did not talk, and I just hung up the phone because I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere.
Right.
You're a 27-year-old girl, and your mother has custody of your phone. I think there's an issue there.
No, don't think there's an issue there.
Interesting.
She seems very toxic to me, and like I said, yes, very controlling, and that's how Daniel has described her to me because I've asked about her.
Daniel.
Yeah. Jack, it's time to go to bed, baby.
Crazy that she has a kid named Jack too, eh?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I know. It's almost over, so I'll just play it out and then we'll do a quick talk about it and then head off.
No, it's time to go to bed, baby.
That 3-hour late nap was not a great idea. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, yeah. So if there's not anything else, I'm going to try to get this little creature to go to bed. But yeah, I kind of hope that I helped squash some.
Logan, I want to thank you again so much for trusting this channel. I understand that you haven't ever spoken out. You have not spoken to the media.
I won't speak to the media. I've been contacted daily.
Well, again, I just want to thank you so much. I really, really appreciate. And
anyways, don't speak to the media because you don't want to bring awareness to Jack and Lily that are missing. So don't speak to them, of course. Right. But anyways, so again, hey, Logan, how great was that relationship that they had again? How great. I mean, because, just 2 people that were clearly in love with each other and stuff like that again. Right. That's what it might have seemed like to Logan. But guess what? The truth has come out. It wasn't a great relationship at all. What you see and what was happening, 2 different things. Either you're covering your cousin's butt by acting like you shit don't shine either. But I think it's more that's exactly what you saw. You only saw some good times. And when you were allowed to probably go, well, she probably was over there more often than most, to be honest with you. But again, right? Nobody knew the inside of my relationship with Dion. right? Besides a
Yep.
few, actually, sorry, later on, a few close friends did, right? And then, yeah. So, anyway, so anything to, oh, God. I
Yep.
mean, yeah,
Well, I would agree, and plus the fact that I don't think it's the abnorm for this family as well. You know, to not be
truthful.
truthful, or just they're not the nicest people they're not the
No,
friendliest people in the neighborhood,
no.
the whole clan.
Well, I was going to say, I think there's a few exceptions in there, to be honest with you. I think
Hope
that
so.
Justin's uncontrollable crying on Monday, I think that, in my opinion, I think that Justin is wise enough and bright enough to know that there's some bullshit going on there. Um, and I don't think that Earl has anything to do with this at all myself.
No, I
Uh,
don't either.
no, but I actually think that uh, that Justin um, is is has what you know your family, you know when they're lying to you, you know when there's something up, right? This family's in a sense close. Now
Yep.
Daniel, we were told, didn't really speak to his dad too much. Wonder why. But yet Daniel would go there whenever I'm sure he wanted something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Malaya goes to Grandma Patty whenever she wants pockets filled with money and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? And then again, I think there was a lot of information if you guys go back and watch what Wade was saying and stuff like that, stealing credit card, owing like $8,000 and stuff like that. I mean, all it reeks of is selfish people covering their asses.
Yeah.
And I feel like the truth will come out. But that's how I see this case: is two
And
people, three
if
lawyers.
you have a pair of headset or earbuds,
Mhm,
listen to it with
yeah.
that, because that is really when I picked up a lot of what he was saying. I had
Mhm.
to listen to it 3 times, and I listened to it twice with my phones on, and I really picked up a lot then.
Yeah. Now, just quickly, a couple of people keep mentioning Hidden in the Fog. Did you watch Hidden in the Fog or something earlier?
Me?
Yeah, did you?
No.
Somebody keeps saying,
I don't really watch. I don't wanna put down another
no, and
channel,
that's
but
okay. It's not your cup of tea.
it's not my shtick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I won't be playing it tonight as well. I'm going to be getting off here. Nova's going to come off here,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And again, Nova, for me, I'm just at that point of, again, there has to be common sense here. And because, again, you know, unless we're all stupid, you know, they're
Yeah.
obviously, if anyone looks at the timeline, they can look at them themselves, make sense of it. I love stuff like that. I love to sit there and find every little detail, don't you? Right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that you can understand the truth of what's truly going on here,
Yeah.
you know?
And I take notes because I have such a bad memory now, especially short-term memory, like, so I take a lot of notes, and I'll go
Yeah.
back and read and compare, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but just gonna so with that being said, you guys, 1 second here. She is not a child. She definitely is not a child. It's her
Mhm.
responsibility to take care of her children.
Yeah.
Um, I'm so disgusted though. Like, again, giving that grain of salt hope that something else might play out.
Yeah.
I just, other than that, I could never understand these actions at all. The
Yeah.
thing is, my thing is this though. Okay, is that whenever do RCMP say don't advocate for finding your children?
Well, the only time I could ever see anything like that going on is if something else is going on and you are working with them. And one of the things that stood out to me was in your text between both of you, is where she had stated, she actually, it was just a one quick sentence where she spoke of her talking with the RCMP. She had stated that you had asked her, you had stated about Darren, Janie, and Daniel laying blame on her and saying things that aren't true, something like that. And she agreed and said, "Yeah, I know." And then you said, "But what is their goal, or what is their end game, or something like that?" And she said, "I don't know. The RCMP have asked me that too. They don't know," or something like that. I'm paraphrasing all of this. So that one statement that she said, well, it was a sentence, made me realize that, okay, well, she is in contact with them, and they are asking her about Darren, Daniel, and Janie's stories. So that kind of stood out to me.
So I go ahead. I'm sorry. That whose comment stood out?
Malaya's.
Oh, okay.
Malaya's saying that.
Yeah.
That the RCMP, because you had said, why are they lying? What is their end game in all of this, or something like that? And she said, "I don't know. The RCMP are asking me that too," and I thought, okay, so she is talking to them, and they're asking her about what those three are saying. This whole story of her having the kids taken, and
in the
so
conversation.
Yeah, so there is talk there between them, and they're wanting to know why they're saying this stuff. Yeah, and that's all she had stated about anything going on between her and the RCMP. And I thought, well, if they are telling her not to, to stay quiet, that's probably one reason right there, because she kind of let a little bit out of the bag there just in saying that.
Well, I was going to say, I actually kind of forgot about that until you just, until you just brought it up, actually. Because wasn't that near the top? Do you remember?
I thought it was getting near, where was it? You asked her two questions back to back. I remember that. You asked her that, and she hadn't answered yet, because she was writing to you, "All I want is my children back," which she had kept saying through the whole thing. And then as she was typing those back to you, you had asked her another question. Can you give me a timeline? So then she came back with two answers, and two answers were, "I don't know. The RCMP were asking me that too," or saying that too, or something like that. And then she gave you a timeline. So I took that as she was answering both of those questions, because then she went into the timeline, which was your next question that you had asked.
Okay, I was just trying to find it here quickly. That's not of where that was, and it's like I remember it, but
it would just be one little sentence, I believe.
Yeah,
it wasn't like in a big paragraph.
No, exactly. Do you remember if it was towards the middle or end?
Why do I feel like it was almost getting near towards the end?
Okay.
But my memory's not good, Sonny.
No, it's okay. Mine either, because I was thinking it was at the start. That's why I pulled this up, just to see if I could find that exact sentence. Two questions. Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you anymore. It's already time for you to go here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm looking too fast. Good question. Oh, wait. No. I thought it was around that where it said good question. I don't know. That is what the police want to find out.
That's it.
Is that the one? I said, I would love to put a true timeline. Right.
But the question before that, because then she gives you the timeline after that. But the question you asked before that was, what is their end game or something like that? And she says,
Okay.
so she's answering both questions, and she answered, because you said, what is their end game? She said, I don't know. The
Right.
police want to know that. And then she gave you the timeline, which she answered the next question.
Right. Because right here I see where it says, why are they doing this? What is the end game?
There you go.
And that was talking about Darren and Daniel's crap. I am
Yeah.
so grateful and appreciative for the support and love for Jack and Lily. I can't express. My children are everything to me. And then she says, that's all I want is my children to be found. And that's when it goes to number 6. Malaya, I will tell you my wish. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's all I want, my children to be found. Good question. And then I said, I would love to put a true timeline. No BS. Just a timeline for Jack and Lily. And she said, good question. I don't know.
But I think she's talking about your other question you asked, because then she goes into the timeline, because your next question is about a timeline.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of like sometimes with Daniel's messages as well, is that
there's time in between.
Yeah, is that as he was in like Facebook groups, he'd be answering, but it would be like down here because it was to that, and you had to like wrap your brain about
If
it.
she didn't give you a timeline after that, I would have thought she was answering the question about a timeline. But because she gave you a timeline after that, I thought, okay, well, she's answering both your questions.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that tells me that she is in discussions with RCMP, and they're telling her they want to know that too. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, I mean, we already, like I said, heard about a blood relative from the side, right? It was either Malaya or Cindy, right? That was getting updates or whatever like that. But then, I mean, doesn't Daniel claim he's getting updates as well?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, how much updating are they truly getting?
Yeah. Well, the RCMP says there's only one person getting updates, and that's of one blood relative. So
Right.
we know that's not Daniel.
No, that's not Daniel. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. So then you put a question mark in your head. Okay, well, what is going on here? And the thing again, I will say this: the truth will come out when you think that they're not working hard behind the scenes. They truly are. But there's always this point of cases. Not to say this case is going to be solved anytime soon. It might be, it might not be. But doesn't mean that they're not working their butts off trying to figure it out. But as time goes on, less detectives are on the case and stuff like that. And then you start going, oh my God, like, are we ever going to get answers? And next sometimes, bam, boom, next thing you know, we're like, oh, I guess they were working hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, Nova, thank you so much for your time tonight. So
thanks for having me on.
No, it's nice to, I've kind of been spinning around because I know Bev, I'd like to have her back up on here and stuff like that. And, I get wrapped up in my own time and crap like that and try to rest and look at things too. Right. I mean, it's easy to do a live, but, I want to talk about certain things or different things. I don't want to just regurgitate the same shit.
Right.
She
was in my chat the other day.
Who?
Bev.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you guys, thanks so much for Kent and Belinda. We'll say Nova first. Nova, her channel is right here on the screen. Again, if you guys haven't subbed up, go check her out. She's very invested in Jack and Lily's case as well. Please go support her channel. And thanks to, again, Belinda, for all you guys being in the chat. Some of you guys, like I said, might have different interpretations or impressions. Again, this channel itself, again, this is my channel, right? So I'm just going to talk about the things that I think about as well, because obviously I have my opinion and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean it's correct. It just means that I'm at the point of the case where, Okay, 12 to 6. Let's talk about the 12 to 5 vehicle. So I want to say this before we get off, because I get certain things, but do you yourself believe that this vehicle from 12 to 5 exists?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I do. I have there's no reason for a neighbor to put a tip in stating that,
Yeah.
with accuracy of between 12 and 5, how many times he heard it, uh,
But
where it's coming from, because
I mean,
there's
the Globe
no
and Mail.
homes in between.
Obviously, the Globe and Mail spoke to the neighbor.
Right.
Right. I
And
mean,
very telling that RCMP, that in itself, for them to say, "Yep, we received that tip," because they don't tell you nothing.
well, that's just it.
They say, "No, this is an ongoing investigation, can't talk about that." But they didn't this time. They confirmed it.
Maybe they were okay with that information going out now
Yep.
because they want answers. There wouldn't be
Yep.
$150,000 reward, people, if they weren't
Mhm.
needing help.
Yep. Maybe they want
They need
somebody to
help.
sweat a little bit,
Yeah. On there.
because they
Yeah.
haven't let anything else go out. Anytime that anything was ever asked like that, we can't
Yeah.
talk about that. That's an ongoing investigation. But this time they say, "Yep,
Yeah.
we
Right.
received that tip."
Absolutely. So, anyways, you guys, with that being said, thank you guys all so
All
much
right.
for being here. Nova, thank you so much. Go to bed.
Thank
I'm so
you.
sorry.
Lots of love, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks, Sunny.
Good night. Thank you.
Night.
So, of course, Jack and Lily, of course, you guys, that's what it's all about. Just trying to understand the truth behind, the BS and stuff like that. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Ben. And that. All right, Shannon. Christine was a contributor to neglect and abuse. Not sure what that conversation is about right now, to be honest. I'm really tired. I got 2 more days before I have to go back to work. Wah. Anyways, question of the day: do you get votes for purchasing a mystery box? I don't even know. I have no idea what you guys are even talking about there. I'll go watch it in the fog after this and see if there's anything again. Not like tomorrow doesn't come. We'll see. But anyways, I'm out of here, guys. You guys have a great, wonderful night, and hope you have a good Saturday tomorrow as well. Please hire Kent full time, and please get him a photo face icon. Awesome episode. There's nothing about hiring somebody full time. All right. This is just a channel, and that has guests on it. They want to join, they join. If they don't, they don't. Simple as that. But I will tell him maybe to put an avatar on his picture. But that's up to Kent. He wants Jack and Lily, right? Focus of Jack and Lily. Anyways, and again, congratulations to Charmaine and her grandson Connor on there. And yeah, you guys be blessed, and Jack and Lily, and have a great day tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to see you tomorrow or not, to be honest with you. I do have things that I need to do before I have to start work again. Sucks. Unless someone's going to send me and hire a maid to send. After that, I got laundry to do. I just got to get my stuff, I don't want to wait till Sunday and ruin that and stuff like that. But anyways, you guys have a great night, and I'm just simply gonna play the regular intro because I'm just really tired. So actually no, we'll play that part piece of the new song from Russell McDonald. We'll just play that partial piece that we have. Okay.
In the woods where shadows lay, Jack and Lily went to play. On a rainy May afternoon, now we whisper hope soft too, echo echoes of laughter fill the air. But where are they? We stand in prayer. Oh,